Bulldogs, they are just running wild.
That's gonna keep them off the field tonight. Holy cow! Oh my God!
So Purdue will go on offense first.
They've had success at this end of the field.
Throwback screen, and that ball is tipped, and I'll tell you what, Orantis Grant was very, very close. If you turn the ball over in overtime, for all intent and purposes, you were just about roasted.
He's the player that Georgia figures is going to be able to get the best pass rush. Makes the hit on Drew Brees, and now Purdue in dire straits. Marvelous job today keeping this team with a chance to win.
3 sacks, only had 12 all season. Throws it underneath to Daniel, and Daniel's going to be stopped at the 26, and now it's 4th down. And Purdue, if they want to stay alive, they got to pick up 11 yards or go for the field goal right here. And it looks as though Travis Dorsch is coming out.
Now, this is the reason you want to go on defense. First, you want to make them make the decision so you know what you've got to do when you get to football.
Danny Rogers, who is the punter, is the holder, and he'll place it down at the 33-yard line. So it's a 43-yard attempt. Way wide right. The kicking game has really kicked Purdue today. That wasn't even close, Mike.
No. And you get the sack, get a good play by the defense, sets up the offense now with a chance to win it.
He's on the sideline, and Georgia knows that right now they are sitting in the catbird seat. Patrick Patton breaks one tackle, breaks the second, and down the sideline will be stopped at the 15. But maybe the last play you see by the offense, we may see Hep Hines right now.
I think Ron, they'll try to get the ball in the middle of the field, though, a little bit more.
At the 5, out of bounds. So let's see where they're going to step him out. At around the 5-yard line, Hawthorne pushed him out.
They are having their way now with Purdue's defense. Purdue's a tired defensive football team. They're running the football to the left side of the line behind Jonas Jennings, Steve Herndon, and Miles Lucky.
Quarterback draw. Carter will have 1 yard, and I think he's going to have enough for the first down, which means it'll be 1st and goal as Odom came up to stop him. Patrick pass close to the 3. Potts is down on the bottom of the stack.
Let's set up for the field goal right now. Jim Donnan wants to take it. Yep, he's going to take it right now. He set it up perfect.
So Hep Hines with an opportunity to win this for the Georgia Bulldogs. 21 yards.
Purdue's got a timeout they could use right here.
He got it. And the Georgia Bulldogs score 28 unanswered points and shot Purdue after being down 25-0. And they win in overtime on Hep Hines' 21-yard field goal.
Overtime at the 66th FedEx Orange Bowl. A first for the bowl. Not a first for these teams. Remember, Alabama beat Florida in overtime of the regular season. It's Michigan on offense first. at the 25-yard line. Grady, nice play fake. Sets up, fires across the middle. His tight end's got it. Sean Thompson, touchdown. Just like that. One play, 25-yard touchdown.
Great pitch and catch.
Talk about calling the right play and dialing it up perfectly.
Puts the pressure. This is the staple I talked about, the Michigan play. If they had one play they had to run, it would be this one.
Extra point now, all important by Epstein, who had the field goal blocked at the end of regulation. Should be a formality, and it is. One play into overtime. Michigan takes the lead for the first time tonight.
Alabama comes out and blitzes again. That means single coverage in the secondary. Watch the linebackers blitz. Here's the tight end as he's going to come across. Grady will roll, fake the run, and roll to his right. And right here, he's going to hit the receiver. Good throw and catch. Cox can't make the play. Touchdown, Michigan.
And a career high for Tom Brady in both yardage and now touchdowns. His 4th touchdown pass of the night.
The defense was on the field the whole time. Prior to overtime, they were pretty tired.
That's good point, Swanee. Here's a give on a little draw play to Sean Alexander from the shotgun formation, and he got about 4.
Wasn't it in the first play against Florida in overtime when Alabama, they gave it to Sean Alexander? Maybe not the first play, but he's the one.
Right
he ran it in for a touchdown.
Yep.
I'd give it to him, too.
Tide's got it, 2nd and 6. At the Michigan 21. They need a touchdown. Zhao lost one. Wide open. Touchdown, Carter. Great play fake to Alexander, and he hooks up with a freshman. There's a little bit of that Alabama offense we talked about at the beginning of the game.
Nice call by Charlie Stubbs, the offensive, the quarterback coach. Fakes it to the franchise, Sean Alexander. Everybody comes up to make the tackle, and easy touchdown.
That pass couldn't get to Carter fast enough. Flugner now to try to send this game further. Did he miss it? He did! Michigan wins in overtime. Alabama won a game in the regular season against Florida because of a missed Gator extra point. Fate has dealt them an ugly blow in this Orange Bowl.
Not the way you want this game to end.
What a game it was, and a dramatic finish as Michigan wins its 10th game of the year. Tom Brady, 4 touchdown passes, 3 of them to Terrell as the guy that led the way. Here's the final play in overtime. Flugner just pushed it to the right. Former walk-on, now one of the captains. You know how terrible he feels.
Good snap and good hold.
It wasn't to be. And Mike DeBose,
they've had a great year.
Yes, they have.
They've had a great year. Nobody.
And the jubilation of the Michigan sideline and Lloyd Carr as they win their 10th game against 2 losses. Alabama 10-3 to finish. And both these teams will be in the thick of things to try to get back here to Pro Players Stadium next year.
25th edition of the Independence Bowl. Texas A&M, meanwhile, trying to snap a 3-game bowl losing streak. And they go to work on offense from the Bulldog 25. Toombs in the backfield. Taylor in motion. Toombs. Toombs diving for the pylon. Touchdown on the first play.
Jamar Toombs of Texas A&M.
Mark, A&M comes out with an imbalanced set, and Billy Yates, the right guard, and right tackle Taylor Whitley do a great job of coming off the ball
And look at that one play. Here you see the handoff, and look at Toombs follow his blockers. They just maul the Mississippi State front four, and there Toombs showing the good size and great speed diving in.
Kitchens out of the hold of Bonovich. They've missed one, remember, tonight. And this one's blocked. And he laterals it. Into the end zone. Julius Griffith. Good for 2 points.
The penetration. And guess who it is? The big play defensive tackle, Willie Blade. 6'2", 320. Knifes through the front four again. And look at the toss play, the pitch. There's the 2-point conversion. Now it's only a 4-point ball game. Hey, a touchdown wins for Mississippi State.
You know, Eugene Clinton was the one that made the lateral. And then from there, it was, man, what a big play.
He's getting the credit, but I tell you what, you better give the game ball to Willie Blade. Watch him just knife through, blocks this kick. There's no chance that kick's going to get off. There you see Clinton with the toss there at the end to Griffith.
Julius Griffith, and now with a score here, instead of tying it with a touchdown, they win it. Madkin has a whole bunch of real estate. Madkin inside the 10, brought down by Jamison. If Mississippi State scores a touchdown here, it's over. 1st and goal. Walker stopped cold. And it's 2nd down and goal.
And now it's going to be shotgun, so it looks like you're going to throw the ball. The clock's running down. They better get this snap off.
And they barely get it off. Madkin. Touchdown! The Bulldogs win it!
The quarterback draw has been run 3 times, and 3 times it's worked. And the last one, nothing more important than OT in the score.
The mentor beats the pupil. Sherrill defeats RC.
Here we go, one of the great systems in all of sports, college football overtime. Each team gets at least 1 crack, and the opponent's 25. Scoreboard clock, might as well turn it off. And a drop. Interesting the way they would start the overtime. Josh Davis could not hang on. We'll call that number 12. 12 drop passes on Leftwich tonight. Pass is blocked and nearly intercepted. Chris Howell, the nose guard, went up to bat that one down. And this will bring up a 3rd down and 10.
But again, this is what we were talking about. There is a little bit of renewed life there for the Pirates in the NFL.
Here's 3rd down and 10. Leftwich across the middle. It is caught. To Darius Watts. Gain of 12 on the play.
I just don't understand why you want to blitz that guy. The guy is just killing you with man-for-man coverage. Here they come with a blitz. They come with 5. Stands in, man coverage. Watts is too much for the corner. He takes the shot, but it's a 1st down for the Thundering Herds.
That settles down. They try the running game. Inside handoff to Franklin Wallace. And he's down to the 5. Howell brought him down after the gain of 6. 2nd down and 3. Handoff again, it's Wallace. He bangs down close to the goal line, down about the 2-yard line now.
Well, he's going to get the 1st down.
1st down and goal from the 2. Wallace in, touchdown. Put 6
on the board. Marshall strikes first in overtime. Steve, one thing that I've noticed here, and I'm sure you noticed the same thing. Remember, we were talking about how Marshall had been struggling on third down in the fourth quarter. I don't know what the conversion rate was, but it must be amazing. And that conversion on the 3rd and 10 was absolutely huge. That's what predicated the score by Wallace.
Todd Curtis' head comes on to try the extra point. Likely could have ended this one earlier, and he just gets that one through. I don't know if it was partially tipped or not. Just got that extra point through, and in fact, it was just tipped. So here now, East Carolina. Marshall taking a pretty good time to take their first lead of the game in overtime. Here's Garrard handing it off. Leonard Henry, down to 5, touchdown. No problem at all. This is 25 yards for Leonard Henry. That Marshall offense better get ready to get back on the field.
Well, I tell you what, we talked about how the offense needed to be on top of their toes. The defense for Marshall clearly wasn't. Remember, this is the same play, Steve, where he had the long touchdown run. It appears that it's going to be the option. Instead, he hands to Henry underneath, just walks through and goes in completely untouched.
Let's not lose sight of this extra point.
Yep.
Kevin Miller misses. This ball game's over. 38 of 40 extra points during the regular season, and Miller is through.
The result of winning the flip.
Down at the same end of the field. Handoff to Leonard Henry. Not much doing that time. They'll give him one on the forward progress. They'll bring up a 2nd down and 9. We thought we were kidding when we promised you a lot of offense tonight. Defensive touchdowns, well, 4 of them tonight. Here's Garrard. Rolling to his right under some pressure from the backside, and he will incomplete to Torrey Morris. He's now to the 20-yard line. They'll give him 4 on the play. Up 3rd down. 3rd down and 5 now. Garrard, the straight drop. Now rolling to his right. Directing traffic, and he'll cut it back.
He needs to get rid of it, Steve.
And he gets rid of it, and more than get rid of it. Miller's long this season is 43. He does have a 52-yard field goal in his college career. It will be 37 times.
See, this year he has been perfect inside of 40. 12 for 12 coming into this game.
3 for 3 tonight. Snap. Place is good, and the field goal is up.
Whoa.
And it is good. It just got through. Kevin Miller connects from 37, and he's given East Carolina a 3-point lead.
That one falls under the heading of knuckleball. Phil Negro would have been proud of that one. I'm sorry, that day. Tim Wakefield would have been proud of that. Dennis Springer would have been proud of that.
Sparks. I'm out of knuckleball now. There is Miller.
You see the reaction of Coach Pruitt. He knew that was kind of off. It's kind of a funny kick, but he said, "Ah, what the heck."
25. Trailing by 3. Leftwich. His arm's got to be tired. Throwing. Got a man at the 5. And it's Danilo Marriott. And Marriott was more bumped down than he was tackled. That was nearly ball game. They won't need to kick an extra point if they get in the end zone. It's Franklin Wallace. Forget about the end zone. That's a loss on the play. Loss of 2.
Bad decision by Wallace. You got to stay, as they say, with your friend.
To his right. Byron Leftwich. Leftwich is going to his left. Hard to bring down. Not that hard. There's another loss of 2 on the play, and that pushes him back to the 8-yard line.
Very surprised at that because, as I say, once you're outside the 5-yard line, you don't want to be in a 3rd down conversion situation. You want to get it up top and throw it into the end zone.
So here's 3rd and goal now from the 8.
The blitz.
Leftwich steps up and throws, and it is caught. There is a flag down. Josh Davis has it for the touchdown of the end zone. There is a flag down.
Defensive holding.
It's against East Carolina, and Marshall wins. Davis, Watt, and Marriott have had problems with drops all night when it's counted most. Watt, the tying touchdown catch, and Davis in overtime able to hang on. No extra point is necessary.
And here he is throwing that dart. Look at that throw. And really, that was a tough catch in the hands by Davis. That's got to be an excited young man. But again, the guy that deserves all the kudos is number 7. Playing through the hit, playing through everything else. Steve, 41 feet for 70, 577 yards and 4 touchdowns. Unbelievable.
You want to talk, you're going to start on defense. You guys have chosen to start on this end of the field. All right.
Ron, Wisconsin, of course, is going to play on defense. Colorado's trying to get away from the Wisconsin band.
Right.
So they're going to play on this end. Now the pressure goes right to the Buffalo's offense.
Coleman at quarterback. Gives it to Calhoun, and he just gets obliterated at the line of scrimmage. Penetration by Jefferson and Mack, and also Hawthorne. And they're making it extremely difficult on Colvin because Wisconsin feels 99% sure he's not going to throw the football.
No, but I think now they're going to be forced to open it up a little bit.
Takes the draw, now running for his life. Colvin is going to run out of bounds, and they will point him out. Let's see what is at the 26.5-yard line. Darius Jones was in hot pursuit, and it'll be 3rd down. To pick up the first, they got to go down to the 15. McCoy in motion, swings it out to Calhoun. And Calhoun has got 3 red jerseys just sitting there. They broke down and waited to make the tackle. Now the situation, Mike, this is going to be a lengthy field goal for Colorado. Welch and Starks on the tackle. Brom, his career, 40 to 49 yards, is 7 of 10. This is going to be 45 yards from the right hash mark. First overtime, trying to put Colorado in front. I don't know if it's going to be long enough. Wide right. So the football goes to Wisconsin. They can decide when and if they want to kick a field goal and win it. How many plays do you run, Mike?
I think 3 plays. You get Bollinger in the running mode right here, and Davis, and then set it up for Mike Allen.
You see Evans and the coaching staff on the sidelines celebrating. Davis going to have about 4 yards into play. Sam Wilder will make the tackle. You have to remember one thing. The only thing that could send this to a second overtime is a turnover by Wisconsin. Davis again. Boy, he gets blasted by Moore. He pushes him back. Stopped at the 20-yard line. Now it's going to be 3rd down. 12 tackles for Moore. 2 tight ends. Bollinger going to keep it himself, and he's not going to have any gain on the play, so this is going to wind up being a 37-yard attempt. Sean Tufts. Allen this year from 30 to 39-yard line is 3 of 4. This for the win for Wisconsin. Good pass. Plenty of distance. And it's over. Mike Allen is the hero of the 2002 Alamo Bowl.
You kind of figured this might be different because this is the first time ever 2 universities have had lady presidents, Dr. Donna E. Shalala from Miami and Dr. Karen A. Holbrook of Ohio State. Their teams are having at it. And this is Jarrett Payton coming to the right side and stopped again. Will Smith is on the play.
Peyton obviously in the game, replacing Willis McGahee, who went out with a knee injury in that fourth quarter. Peyton is a solid back, and of course his dad, NFL legend Hall of Famer Walter Payton, classmate of mine in the 1993 Hall of Fame class, and Jarrett introduced him as the first son.
We get 4 snaps of the ball, just like a regular game. You can make a first down, and here's Dorsey throwing complete to Andre Johnson, who has been very quiet in this ball game tonight. He makes that catch down around the 15-yard line. 3rd down and 1 for the first down. They run it, and Peyton is knocked out of bounds at the 8-yard line, and that's a first down for Miami. So now they've got a 1st and goal from about the 8-yard line. And they give it to Peyton. And he fights his way down to inside the 7 maybe before Matt Wilhelm wraps his big old arms around him. We're at 2nd down and goal. Dorsey throws to the end zone. Touchdown. Kellen Winslow making the catch. There's a penalty flag, I thought, thrown by the back judge at the back of the end zone, but he's talking to the referee now. If anything, it will probably be holding. Pass interference against Ohio State. The Winslow catch is good.
Yeah, he
for the touchdown.
Picked it right off the top of Will Allen's helmet, too. Great athletic move. The Buckeyes came with pressure. Dorsey hung tough in the pocket, and Winslow with a remarkable catch.
Severs for the point. And he makes it.
Again, if you bring pressure on Ken Dorsey, you better get to him, because he's tall enough to see over the top. He's experienced enough to know where he wants to go with the ball. Wilhelm and Nicky come up the middle. They're picked up. It's a jump ball for Winslow, and Winslow's going to win every time.
From the 25-yard line, they're down by 7. Krenzel back throwing, steps away from the pressure, takes off with it, going to run with it, and run it for 5 yards before DJ Williams brings him down.
Now, the one guy that Miami's got to make sure they keep an eye on is Michael Jenkins. He's the guy that Krenzel is looking for in crunch time. Miami's done a great job on him. He's only got 2 catches. But again, Krenzel only completed 5 passes all night. Dorsey taking charge on the sidelines. Great scene.
Go to the shotgun. Penalty flag stops it. No play on it.
You know,
normally that means false start.
Yeah, McDougal started, and then Hartsock came out of his stance.
False start on the offense. It'll be a 5-yard penalty and remain 2nd down.
So they go back to the 25 with that 5-yard penalty. Blitz coming. Pressure got him. Back at the 29-yard line, it was Jamal Green.
He's the leading sacker for the Hurricanes, and he comes up with his first tonight at the best time possible for the defending champs.
Miami scored a touchdown in their first possession of overtime. Krenzel's pass is thrown short to the ground. That was McDougal. He forced that.
Tough to throw a screen pass against this Miami defense. Their speed of their front 4 really gets on the quarterback in a hurry, and then the linebacker speed, and then the secondary, they can close on Claret as they did that time.
Back there for Krenzel. Now one of them runs away, Claret. Krenzel steps up and goes to the sidelines, and that's good for a first down. Caught by Michael Jenkins.
Well, they've done it before. It's nothing new to Buckeye fans. Krenzel and Jenkins. 4th and 14. Are you kidding me? Great pass protection for Krenzel. Great read by the receiver. And the quarterback is Glenn Sharp, number 31, is totally turned around here.
For the Buckeyes, just outside the 12, Krenzel steps in the middle, throws to the end zone. No. Intended again for Jenkins, covered by Taylor.
Over the middle.
He came off the field. Here goes Krenzel. He's at the 5-yard line, and he is hammered. He took a wicked shot to the head, and he went down hard on his back. Taylor and Vilma hit him, and he gets up.
Keith, that's 2 huge hits by Vilma. 51 right in the middle of the screen. Watch him send Krenzel backwards.
Whoa.
How does Krenzel get up from these shots? These are 2 guys drilling him. 2 big guys. Taylor, Vilma.
It's 3rd and 3 from the 5-yard line for Ohio State. 3rd and 3. They must score a touchdown to stay alive in the overtime. Krenzel sees the little hole. Now he slides out. Now he throws. And it's incomplete. Taylor knocked it away from Hartsock. Claret's up there as a wide out too. The ball goes into the end zone, and it is incomplete. Intended for Gamble. Now there is a penalty flag thrown.
Hold on.
Hold the phone. Everybody comes running down on the field. You got to get off because there's a penalty flag thrown, and I think it's against Miami.
And if it's thrown in the end zone, the ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. 1st and goal.
Glenn Sharp trying to cover Chris Gamble, and he may have arrived a tad too soon. Randy Crystal.
Pass interference.
Yep.
Glenn Sharp, 31 on Chris Gamble, number 7. Oh, that's a tough call there. What about this angle? Bad call. Bad call.
The left hand. I don't know if the left arm was there too soon or not.
I think the ball got there before Glenn Sharp did.
Well, he waved it incomplete and then threw the flag.
Boy, Gamble had a chance to make the catch before contact was made by Sharp. The only thing is they may have called the contact that was earlier, but the ball had not been released by the quarterback. This is a bad call for the Miami Hurricanes.
Now, there could have been holding there.
They called pass interference, Keith.
Yeah, I did.
And this man right here says incomplete.
So it is 1st and goal for Ohio State. They'll try to run it. And they're having a little problem with that early on. They get back to the line of scrimmage. Claret carrying it. Here's pounded in the middle. It's short.
Well, you'd like to see Claret get airborne down there. Trying to go up over the top.
The legions will be diminished. Krenzel sneaking touchdown. So a kick will tie it, and we'll go around again.
And Keith at center was a true freshman, Nick Mangold, who led the way along with Bryce Bishop and Shane Olivier over that right side. Good patience by Krenzel to find a crack and get in for the score.
Nugent for the point. No need to tell you anything about this. Just watch it. Down in the middle.
Heads up play. Keith, Sean Taylor rushed the center, faked like he was coming, and that caused a false start by Ohio State.
And that'll back him up 5.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. Repeat the try.
Nugent has missed 1 extra point this season from the 15-yard line. On its way, good. 77,502 in the attendance, and ain't nobody going home.
You having fun yet, big boy?
We're it out. 24 second overtime. And this is Lydell Ross going to the sidelines, and the Hurricanes run him out of bounds, but it's a pretty good pickup on first down, like about 9 yards.
Ross showing off his outstanding speed. Paid for it too, as a tough tackle there by DJ Williams. But Ross picking up 9 yards.
He's coming out now. Kind of holding the right shoulder, looks like. Krenzel gives it to him. He's looking for some daylight, and I tell you, there's some quick Miami people that got there that time. That was Roger McIntosh. Well, Krenzel will do it himself, and he just jumps right on the hip pocket of the center, and Bryce Bishop, and he rides along with him and has the first down at the 11-yard line.
Alex Stepanovich back in at center for Krenzel, who has now rushed 19 times for 80 yards.
Krenzel wants to pass. Now does, and has it completed. Down to the 5-yard line to Michael Jenkins. Maurice Sykes defending. Second down from the 5. Claret. Touchdown.
Well, Maurice Sykes couldn't do it 2 plays in a row. He had Claret right at the line of scrimmage and could not make the tackle as Claret sidestepped him and accelerated through a huge hole and into the end zone.
Here's your extra point try now for Mike Nugent. Whoa, that snap was low and hard, but the kick was good. Handled well by Andy Groom. As Ohio State leads 31-24, and it goes to Jarrett Payton, and Payton has trouble getting back to the line of scrimmage and does not. Remember, the Hurricanes are without Willis McGahee. He suffered an injured knee. By 7, Dorsey's pass incomplete. He was pressured. He was trying to get the ball to Kellen Winslow.
And Dorsey may be hurt, Keith.
He took a hard hit, and he's having a little trouble getting to his feet, but he's trying, and he can't do it. With only 2 plays left for Miami unless they get a first down. And Kuda back and throws the ball is caught by Hill, the fullback, and Quadrin Hill moves it down for a good 8 yards before he was belted out. Maybe 7 yards. 31-24 the score. Miami has 4th down and 3 to get a first down and stay alive. It's not really a question of scoring right now. What you want is 3 yards.
3 measly yards, and they're going to come with 3 receivers to the wide side of the field as Winslow is at the tight end spot right here.
I would say he would be the man. Dorsey's pass, good. They've got the first down. Down at the 10-yard line, it was Winslow, and there's the penalty flag. Hold the phone.
Late flag after the play, Keith. Winslow was down.
On the play, a gain of 7.
Face mask, 5-yard penalty. Gain was sufficient for a
That
first
puts
down.
him on the 5-yard line.
I think Dustin Fox is the guilty player for Ohio State. But Winslow so quick out of the break, gets his head around, ball is thrown perfectly right to the numbers, and watch Fox come up. And just that right there, boy, that looks like more than just a 5-yard penalty.
Dorsey throwing. End zone, no. Penalty flag. A little bit late coming.
Hey, he was digging in that back pocket, couldn't get it out the first time, but Chris Gamble has the pass interference on Andre Johnson.
Yeah, but Chris Gamble benefited by that same flag from the same officials down the other end of the field in the other overtime.
Didn't he ever? He's just going to reach out and grab Johnson. Look at the power of Johnson to swim to the inside. Gamble was trying to take the inside away by his alignment. And Johnson just too powerful.
First and goal from the 2. It's Peyton to the 1. Walter's son, Jarrett, 6'2", 218 junior, Harlington Heights, Illinois. Dorsey throwing, tight end, missed him. Had him. Eric Winston, the freshman tight end, had gone in there, and the double tight end alignment broken clean and clear, and Dorsey missed him.
There, maybe.
Handed off to the fullback, Hill. And Matt Wilhelm stops him.
Trying a little quick hitter there, not giving the ball to your tailback, trying to give it to Quadrine Hill, his first rush of the night, behind the tight end coming in motion, Winston, and Ohio State, again, that front four, along with Wilhelm, just stuffed him.
And Kellen Winslow, and Dorsey under pressure, throws it, incomplete. The Buckeyes win. C. Grant was the man who pressured Dorsey, and now the party begins for the Ohio State Buckeyes. They are 14-0. And they are the national champions of college football.
That's how they think now. Not that we tied the game. We're top 10. Comine going to be close to a first down.
Well, wouldn't you want to be on the top 10?
But he tied the game. I mean, what comes first? I mean, yeah, that's nice, but that's why we're still playing. 417 of those. They run it on second down. And the near fourth quarter hero, Michael Brewster, gets them the first down to the 11.
Yeah, Houston's lucky on that first play. They had 10 men on the field. They managed to get 11 on there for that one. So these teams are not used to this. Last time you and I did this, Dave, we did 7 OTs.
Knew you'd remind me of that.
Arkansas at Kentucky. What a game.
Don't know if I'm ready for 7.
Well, let's just see.
But then again, it was the greatest show of the year in college football. First and 10. That's the play clock you're watching. No game clock in overtime. Chang, 3 receivers to the left. Over the middle. Touchdown. Britton Comine.
And Merry Christmas from Timmy Chang, who's showing us and giving us a clinic in quarterback play. Wow. He saw the blitz coming off the corners. It was picked up perfectly.
Now, the kicks have just about all been adventures for Hawaii. Chang serving up his 4th touchdown pass. First catch in the end zone tonight for Comine, his 5th of the year. This time, no problem on the kick. Hawaii has missed 9 extra points this year. But Miranda makes it 41-34. He has been picked off twice, only 6 total for the year. And right to the air, his tight end Jonathan Pritchett is inside the 15. First down, Houston.
Second time today for that wide drag, the tight end across the field, running across the zone, a very safe pass. Quarterback can clearly see when he makes that window between the Will backer and the corner.
Now Jackie Battle with a huge hole. Over 1 tackle, a pickup of 9 down near the 5. And Battle over 100 yards. He has 2 touchdowns.
Battle reminds me a little bit of the quarterback from Arkansas, Matt Jones, who's 6'6", and he doesn't look like he's running very fast. He doesn't look elusive, but nobody can tackle him. He's just strong, and he slips away from people, and then he runs over them.
That's big and quickly. Sam Bam Cunningham, going back about 30 years. Anthony Evans battles all the way for the score. Evans overshadowed by Battle today. Evans is the 1,000-yard rusher.
He just ran over Leonard Peters. And Leonard stepped up in there and tried to meet him, and he's just a safety. That 180 pounds wouldn't get it against Evans. Woo. Right in the end zone. Now, these extra points, folks, get real interesting. You and I broadcast an Orange Bowl and an Alabama kicker that overtime missed an extra point.
The Bells
in the game against Michigan
has hit 65 in a row. 54 for the year, and this one is good, and we're tied after the first overtime, 41-41. Jackie Battle near a gain of 10 and a first down.
No big guys in black shirts anywhere around Battle. They got knocked off the ball. They got manhandled by Swan, Hadnot, Maddox, and company.
Compared to Battle. Now at 113 yards, 16 carries. Here's Evans. And easily with the first, almost to the 10.
There's no sicker feeling when you're a head football coach than to look out there, know you could have wrapped the game up and finished it, and to watch your guys unable to stop the running game.
They wanted to just run out a 7-point win. They wanted to win by 14. Battle spinning his way to the 8-yard line. They had a chance to win at 34-27. Shane stopped the clock on an incompletion into the end zone. Then they missed a field goal. And Houston, with a little under a minute, went 80 yards to tie it and force these extra periods. So SportsCenter continues to wait for our result. Only back now is Matt Shermer on his second carry tonight. He's inside the 5. And it's 3rd and 4. And the junior from Holton, Kansas, one of the few non-Texans on the roster, will be slow getting up. Second leading rusher in Kansas high school history. Battle the back on 3rd down. Battle off tackle. Another touchdown. His 3rd of the night.
Battle really unchallenged as he went to the weak side of the line of scrimmage. Just a marvelous block out there by 75 Phil Hawkins, the left tackle, just mauling his man. There's Conan getting wrapped up by the H-back. The DB coming up trying to tackle the big guy at the goal line. No chance.
Jackie Battle being the demo recruit. These two classes paying off big tonight. 18 carries, 120 yards, and 3 scores. Let's look again after this Dustin Bell PAT attempt at why we are still playing. Thomas Gafford, J.J. Wyatt, a snapper and holder with perfect all night. So has Bell. And they are yet again 48-41 Cougars. Chang looking right, going right to the end zone and dropped by Cochran.
Wow. Cochran's 3rd drop tonight. I was dead wrong in my assessment. What they wanted was man coverage on Cochran. They got what they wanted. Cochran ran the route. He beat route again. Number 27, the corner. Stanford route. And the main man drops the ball. The 3rd drop of the evening for him. With this kind of offense, you got to make that catch.
How close was that? It just squirted away like a watermelon seed. Almost the quickest strike of the overtime period. Flags and whistles. Chang backs out. Chang at 428 yards, 4 touchdown passes, all from the second quarter on.
False start. Offense, 5 yards. Till 2nd down.
Not wanting that to be his final memory. So 2nd and 15. And the catch by Welch takes him down to the 18. Gerald Welch not a target at all until the 4th quarter. He's now come up with 3 for 31 yards. 3rd and 3. To the end zone. Touchdown. Jason Rivers. of the night.
Beautiful job of offensive execution and play calling. Just flip what was attempted to Cochran on the other side. This time it works with Rivers. They go trips to the right side of the field, which forces Houston into man coverage. Let's first see if this extra point, if this is extra point, if this is kicked, it will be the last one.
And it barely makes it through off the deflection by Marquay Love.
I have never seen such exciting extra points in my life.
They're all good.
As tonight, every one of them have gone through, but the field goal did not. The chip shot field goal.
As it worked the last couple of years, we've seen 7 overtimes between Arkansas and Mississippi. It's on Kentucky. How long will this one go? Chang retreating, deep for Cochran, overthrow. Again, Cochran a step beyond Stanford route. He's dealt him misery tonight.
Route was in better shape this time, though. He was closer this time, and probably caused that ball to be overthrown.
We're over 1,100 total yards. Chang, weird catch underneath to Rivers. Gets him only about 4. Chang went to the man-to-man coverage. This time he looks right. And guns it complete to Cochran. First down inside the 10. One of Cochran's better catches of the night. First meeting ever between Houston and Hawaii has been a memorable one. This has been the man in the running game in the second half. Touchdown, Brewster. The Houston product from Nimitz High School has given the Warriors a lead in the third OT.
So the Warrior coaching staff remembered that the running game was working pretty well at the end and went back to it. Nice job of blocking, and certainly excellent read and run. And the big guy, Satelli, number 64, out in front again. 2 missed tackles. And what that means is there's just a burst in that guy who's not a small man. He's just not tall. Got those powerful legs. Now 2-point conversion attempts are required from this point forward.
Chang, mindful of the play clock. Down to 1, and he let it expire. Good heavens.
Ball start. Offense, 5 yards.
Well, that too.
Try for the 8-yard line.
Clean two. From the 8, the try for 2. Chang, as he backs up, throwing intercepted. And Will Gully has his second interception of the night. So the Cougars know what they need. They need 6 and a successful try for 2. Gully has his 4th and 5th interceptions of the year tonight.
Yeah, and a really athletic move by Gully, who had to change direction. He was going the other way. One of the most important things a DB has to do is to plant his feet, turn and run in the opposite direction. And this is one time that Chang tried to throw across his body. He didn't get much on the football, and that allowed Gully time to get there.
But we've got an overtime for you. The first overtime in this bowl game's history. And the last time there was a tie here in this bowl game was '84. Georgia FSU 17-17.
Gary, the second time in 3 games that Purdue has gone to overtime. The thriller at the Horseshoe in Columbus, second to the last game of the season. They lost a heart-wrenching game, 16-13.
They start at the 25-yard line. Georgia with possession. Green back near side. And that was scooped up off the ground. That will be an incomplete pass. And no, completed. Take that back. They called it completed, but his knee was down, so a 7-yard gain.
Taking another look. Fred Gibson.
Good catch.
As a wide receiver, first you want to make the catch. And if you have to go to a knee, so be it. Pick up a nice chunk of yardage on first down, second and short.
Work out of that gun again. Green back.
Looking into the end zone in the corner. A lot of pushing and shoving and a flag. Looks like we're going to get a pass interference in the end zone.
Now Ben Watson was working against a Wichiku. The flag came late from the back judge, but there was plenty of contact. Wichiku might have had a handful of jerseys.
The officials here in this second half have been somewhat busy.
Pass interference defense. By rule, the penalty is a full 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Joe Tiller on the sideline, unhappy with this.
And you can see down at the bottom of the screen right here. Why don't we go ahead and freeze it? Right here, you can see the left hand. And he's riding him. I mean, that's a tough call right there. I didn't really think he obstructed Ben Watson. And
from the 30 and maybe up to the 1 or 2, a yard gain at least. Jeremy Thomas on the carry, the fullback. Keep in mind, even if Georgia gets in, Purdue's going to get a shot. Yard and a half to go for the touchdown, and a swarming Purdue defense with everybody stacked up here in a goal line stand. Langdon Johnson, who's had a tremendous game, in on Thomas again to make the tackle. Bennett getting ready, may have an opportunity. Third down, and were they in? No, not in. Shy by about a half a yard. What a job by the Purdue defense. There's where it's marked, just shy of the goal line.
Well, the handoff straight ahead, isolation, fullback on linebacker. And that's a good call by this officiating crew from the Pac-10. They did not score.
Fourth down, David. That was Lumpkin on that carry. So fourth down, they'll go for the TD. Lumpkin again on the dive, and he's in for the touchdown. Not over. Purdue gets a chance. Lumpkin scoring. Biggest day he has had this season for Georgia. Bennett comes on for the extra point. That's up. That's good. 34-27. Georgia leads it. Now Purdue gets a chance. Let's go back to Pasadena and John.
And Georgia takes advantage first.
Purdue. Orton, they start at the 25-yard line as well. That'll be carried inside the 20. Big, hard run by Boyd. A 7-yard gain before Davis. Thomas Davis made the tackle. It's a second down and 3 from the 18. Only 2 on the play clock. They do get it off. Carried off the far side, just shy of the 15-yard line. Boy, that was close to a delay of game call right there. They made it by about a second. Boyd on the carry, a 2-yard gain. It'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
Play calling to your package, because if you give up the ball on a turnover, the game's over.
3rd down and 1. They fake it. Orton's going to carry. Orton takes it inside the 10. He's got a first down. So Orton, who has scored 2 touchdowns on the ground today, again crosses up the Georgia defense. 31 yards for him today in the air. First down and goal from the 9. Maybe a couple of yards on the second effort right there. Boyd again on the carry, running into Odell Thurman, who made the tackle. Purdue, they've got to score here, and they've got to score a touchdown. Side, slot one to the right as well. Orton looking, fake the lob, hands off. Not much room, good coverage at about the 9-yard line. Nowhere to go. Jennings. What a play by Jennings, who refused to be faked up. From the 8-yard line, again the 3 receivers set to the wide side. Orton out of the shotgun, 5 receivers total. Orton into the end zone, knocked down, but not intercepted. There will be one more play. Orton, same set, 5 receivers, wide side to the left. Orton looking, got to get to the end zone with it. Flag down, knocked away, incomplete, but hang on. Hang on. There's a flag down on the field. Against Georgia. Game not over.
And we keep playing.
They'll get another chance.
And they'll get another chance from inside the 5-yard line.
Offside. Defense. At least 5 yards from previous spot. Player lined up in the neutral zone. Repeat. 4th down.
Correct.
Purdue gets another shot. Georgia's had 11 penalties, 100 yards in this game. Orton, again, the 5 receivers got to get the touchdown to keep the overtime alive into the end zone. Incomplete. Georgia wins it 34-27.
Has none. He's still the leading receiver with 5 catches for 66 yards, but he has 0 in the second half. Lundy, a huge hole. Wally Lundy gets the first down as he is tackled down at the 9-yard line by Tyrone Culver.
Side and allow Lundy to get up the field.
Brian Barthelmess with a great block, and this time not much for Lundy as Lewis Leonard gets him for his 3rd tackle of the game. Treats it as like the NFL, like a 1-game playoff game. Huge. Higgins, can he do it again? No. Pursued and dropped. Todd Garcia and company drop him for a 2-yard loss. And he is the leading rusher today. Alvin Pierman has not played at all in the second half because of a hurt knee. And the quarterback, Marcus Higgins, with 87 yards and a touchdown, has a 46-yard run today. And you're right, going into the end zone, but thrown incomplete, pushed out of bounds. And Virginia's going to have to try a field goal.
Yeah, nobody was open on that front side, but Marcus Higgins did a nice job creating something. But McGrew tippy-toeing. Nice job by Marshall pushing him out of bounds.
A little different from the NFL rule in college where they don't have the force out. You're either in or you're out in college, whether you're pushed or not, and that was an obvious incomplete pass. Connor Hughes is hit from 33. This is a 26-yarder to give Virginia the lead, and he punches it through. So Wally Lundy with a terrific start to this drive, but the Fresno defense clamped down, and Virginia is held to a field goal. First down in the first overtime for Fresno. Pinniger going for his tight end, and he's got him. Steven Spock scores, and the game is over. Spock, who came into the season with only 4 catches, has 2 today, including the game winner in overtime.
Well, Spock ran clear through the secondary. No one even touched him. Nice play-action fake. Go ahead and get behind the defender. The linebacker sucked up inside. And Pinniger, all he had to do was just deliver it, try to make the completion.
Teams played extremely hard and well. Mitchell in the backfield. He's 21 carries, 167 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Rowe fakes to him and rolls right. And throws a strike for a first down to the 13-yard line. Then the ball is not loose. Was it a catch and fumble? Was it ever a catch? No, it was incomplete. John L. Neal came up and jarred it free. No catch for Spencer. And Rowe from the pistol. Mitchell behind him. Play clock inside 5. And it's Mitchell. Good burst for about 7 out of the 18. Where Stephen Baker and Sharif Rashad bring him down. 3rd and 3. And Rowe turns back against the grain, throws complete to Pudawell, the tight end, and it's 1st and goal at the 8. Joe Burnett recognized too late that the whole play was going right, and 83 alone was going left, wide open.
And this goes from the right to the left, and this play was open earlier, but Jeff Rowe didn't throw it back. He stayed play side.
And so, you know, that's smart. Good coaching, man. You got something in the bag over there, and you got to use it. No reason to take it home for Christmas.
And that thing upside down and empty it out. Back to the ground game. Mitchell to the 5. That's it. Wrapped up by Keith Sholigan.
Around the corner. Not many.
Fake to him. Wide open on the left side for the naked boot. Touchdown, Jeff Rowe. How about Rowe as a running weapon tonight? His 12th carry for 68 yards. And the touchdown to begin overtime.
And I'd make a plausible gentleman's bet with you that this was designed to be a handoff. Because everybody was blocking and hitting it up in there. But if it's not, it's just excellent execution of selling a run.
Jekyll, who has missed on only 3 coming into this game. Perfect tonight. Perfect snap and hold. And he hooks that a little bit more than he would have liked, but it's still good. It's 49-42. So the Wolfpack handle their business. So now UCF, knowing what they need 7 to force a second overtime. They start with Kevin Smith. And a nice cutback by the Conference USA Freshman of the Year out of Miami, brought down by Roosevelt Cooks, who has lowered the boom on a number of Golden Knights all night long.
He should.
He got 6, 2nd and 4. Look at that hole. Smith to the outside. Bumped by Wilson. Touchdown. 2 plays. All it took for Kevin Smith. And with that, he goes over 200 yards. 29 for 202. 3 touchdowns for this freshman.
And you know, here, your safeties, they're not up in run support. And that UCF offensive line was able to get into leverage position, blocked off, walled out, and Smith got back into it.
Prater's numbers on PATs coming into tonight. Michael Buscemi snaps to John Brown. Kick is wide right, and Nevada wins it.
Oh, man! You gotta be kidding me.
And UCF's trip to paradise ends in a nightmare. Matt Prater, who helped force overtime with a late field goal, has been blasting the ball all night. He pushes the extra point wide right. 49-48. Wolfpack are final in overtime.
There's nothing ever automatic about anything. And the pressure here on the kicker is immense. And like you said, Dave, this guy, young man, had come through for his team earlier. UCF really depended on him. And here, the push to the right, it's Santa Claus wearing number 2 that lives in Nevada.
Woo. Boy, in a game with this many points, 97 points, UCF comes up 1 short, and Nevada wins the 2005 Sheraton Hawaii Bowl.
State begins the ball to start overtime.
Leon Washington has been a factor these last few drives in getting him the football. Let's see if they try to do that.
Out of the gun, Drew Weatherford throws a screen to Lorenzo Booker, shoots up, or that's Willie Reed, beg your pardon, to the 16-yard line. Reed, the receiver, lined up for the short screen. Gain of 9. Sean Lee made the tackle. He's playing for Paul Puslusky. Play action, Weatherford throwing the deep ball, the jump ball for Carr, who couldn't get there. What a game Anwar Phillips has played at the right cornerback spot. He had some safety help, but he has not been beaten on that sideline tonight. Weatherford has room to run to get closer to field goal range, but he lobs it. Phillips lost his coverage, and it was a poor pass out of bounds. Carr couldn't get there. For just a second, Phillips looks like he lost where he was. Now we've got a long field goal coming. We had the missed extra point after the Florida State second touchdown in the second quarter. And then with time running down, not the greatest exchange, center to holder, but a missed kick by the freshman Kelly.
I think Weatherford made a mistake there trying to go for the home run. Just scramble and pick up 8 yards, 5 yards. give your kicker a much better chance.
Good from 48. Sismasia from 44, drifting to the right. He missed it. It was online. It was one of those fades. It just kind of dies to the right as it loses distance. Now all Penn State needs is a field goal to win. Run with Austin Scott. It's about a yard. Buster Davis brings him down shy of the 23. Now the freshman kicker, Kevin Kelly, as you saw Joe Paterno go right over to him. Redemption is a couple of snaps away when you're a kicker, especially with the collegiate overtime system. A Robinson designed quarterback draw. Barely got out of Bunkley's tackle, but a good play by Broderick limits the gain. 40 yards. Robinson, quarterback draw again, gets 2, makes it a 38-yard field goal for the lefty from the middle of the field.
Look at that face we were showing a little earlier from Kelly about how disgruntled you could see as a freshman. He felt like he let Joe down. He let the whole team down. Second opportunity, see if he can capitalize on it.
Kelly from 38 for redemption, for the win. Missed it again, wide left. And the game goes on.
I think Bobby Bowden thought he made it.
Looked that way. Looked like the troopers were walking him over for the handshake.
Yeah. Another wide left for Kelly in Penn State. Holds good. Kick good. Kick looks good. He just missed it to the left.
With Bowden against Paterno. Robinson from the 25 looks down the middle. Jordan Norwood. What a hit by Buster Davis. And Norwood is shaken up. But gets back up quickly, gain of 5.5. Penn State going with a little pep in their step from the 19. Robinson tries the shot for Dion Butler, just over his outstretched arm. 4 from here, the field goal's 37. Robinson throws to Ethan Kilmer, who caught it at the 10, at the 5, airborne like Elway to the 1-yard line. Personnel late. Matt Hans, the fullback. Austin Scott is the tailback. Bouncing it to the outside. Cannot get there. Pat Watkins, the safety, who's been everywhere, along with Buster Davis, holding on for dear life. Robinson, option to Scott, to the end zone. Penn State touchdown. That was the 83rd snap of defense Florida State's guys had to deal with. Compared to 62 for the Penn State defense. Scott, 1 touchdown all year. The first one and maybe the last one. Now the shaky confidence of the kicker, Kelly. Extra point, no problem. Florida State must score 7 to send us to triple overtime. The freshman Weatherford. Can he keep this endless night going? Stepping up and throwing, complete for a first down. It is Willie Reed, the senior, trying to keep his career alive. Gain of 11, Dan Connor with the tackle. Goodman in the slot. Weatherford looking for Carr, goes up, brings it down, and takes it down to the 1-yard line. 6'5", he finally wins a jump ball tonight. The big back Coleman dots the I. Weatherford keeping it's a long way away for a quarterback sneak.
Especially a slow, delayed quarterback sneak. You better take it and go if you're going to sneak with it.
Coleman's blocking. Dean's going up the middle. He's at the goal line. We're an extra point from triple overtime. Touchdown, FSU. Gary Sismasia, who's missed an extra point. Dean, another senior, shaken up. That's his first touchdown of the year. Sismasia had not missed an extra point in his FSU career. Just to keep the game going, we go to triple overtime. Not when you guys are coached by Bowden Paterno. You don't do that. From the 25, Weatherford has room to run. Drew Weatherford, the freshman, is twisted at the 21-yard line. And let's spend a second talking about the performance tonight of Weatherford, who is hobbled by that tackle. 2nd and 6, 3-man front for the Nittany Lions. They cover with 8. Weatherford's throw is incomplete. They say it hit the ground. Carr is saying look at it, call a timeout to look at it. Again, every play is reviewed. They saw it on the big screen and had their thoughts. Now,
ball hits the ground, it's incomplete. But Greg Carr has been one of the biggest surprises this year for Florida State. Not only because of his size, Mike, but he's a basketball player who's just getting better as a football player.
3rd and 6.
Remember, a lot of attention paid to the receivers on the outside. Always a chance for Willie Reed on the slot.
Weatherford throws. The receiver, Carr, slipped as he was trying to break on the out. So we'll have a field goal, 38 yards for Sismasia. Miles Hodish snaps. Sismasia fading to the right again. Off the upright and no good.
It's the second overtime. Second of the 3 overtimes. Florida State has missed their first field goal, and Penn State has had a chance to come back on the back end and capitalize with a potential game-winning field goal.
All kickers have movement in their ball. If you play golf, you know you hook it or it fades. And Sismasia, as you've seen consistently, has a ball that kind of tails and fades at the end. And that one just couldn't be tucked inside the right upright. Chance to end the game on your own right here. Austin Scott looking for room. He's going to lose a yard. Llewellyn banging at the ball as Cameron Wimbley holds him up. Terrell Golden is coming the game in the slot. Dion Butler clears space. King on the screen is brought down a couple of yards shy of the first down. Watkins and McGrew. Patton Sam made the tackle. 3rd down, Michael Robinson will just keep it, run it to the right, pick up the first down at the 13-yard line. How about the fullback leading the way there? 13. Handoff, Austin Scott. About a yard to the 12. Scott has carried 26 times tonight, and another Florida State player is down as the kicker Kelly comes back on the field here.
Got the look and is ready to try to put it through here. I thought Michael Robinson was probably telling Joe, let's get it down to the extra point. Let's get way inside. It's only 2nd down. Let's keep moving it down closer.
So the freshman Kelly, who's missed 2, including one from this distance, 29 yards, and a Jason Ganter's hold, a chance to win this historic coaching matchup in triple overtime. Penn State, winner of the 2006 FedEx Orange Bowl. And the season of restoration ends with exhilaration and devastation.
So Minnesota begins complete, and that's Logan Payne, who's up near first down yardage. The Golden Gophers get the ball first here in overtime. Cupido, the senior, the all-time leading passer in the history of Minnesota. Penix on the ground. He has enough to get the first down.
Nice tackle.
Really By the way, Coach, if Texas Tech were to win this game, it would be the greatest comeback in the history of bowl games. The previous deficit was 30 points that East Carolina back in 2001 at the GMAC Bowl. They trailed 38-8. Of course, it's 38-7 here at the Insight Bowl.
Whoa!
Penix bottled up.
Woo! Great play by defensive lineman Keith Dawson. He got underneath Jack Simmons, the tight end, who was trying to cut him off. And this guy can really play the game low.
Catch the ball, but Spaeth, a superior blocker. Cupido underneath looking for Simmons, and he couldn't hold on.
He threw that pretty hard. He really did.
And remember, Coach, the Golden Gophers, they do not exactly have what you would call a stellar kicker. Jason Giannini, who was their field goal kicker for much of the season, lost his job in the season finale versus Iowa. And Joel Monroe missed from 40 yards in his only field goal attempt in the regular season. We saw him hit one earlier, but that was from 20 yards.
You have defined a problem.
Cupido with some time, corner end zone, nearly picked off.
So now you make a decision. Do you go with Giannini or do you go with Monroe? Monroe has attempted one field goal and 4 PATs. He missed the one field goal. Giannini is 7 for 12. His long being 41 yards. But he is 5 for 5 inside 40 yards. And that's, you know.
They're going to go with Joel Monroe, the sophomore from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, who has already kicked a 20-yard field goal in this game. He missed from 40. This one is from 32. Kick is up, and it's between the uprights and good. So Minnesota,
that's gutsy.
They put 3 on the board.
That's gutsy. Giannini was 16 for 18 inside 40 in his career, and to go with the guy that's only kicked one field goal, they know him a lot better than we do.
Now the Red Raiders get an opportunity. Graham Harrell now. They send Fulani in motion. Harrell a little too high. He was looking for Johnson, and he had him, Coach.
Yeah, and you notice when he does miss a guy, it's normally high, never in the turf, never low or outside. When he misses a guy, he throws it over the top.
Overtime, Texas Tech coming back from a 38-7 deficit. This is Joel Fulani, the native of Phoenix, coming home, trying to close out his career. What a storybook ending this would be for him.
Oh, it would. Say they threw a little wide receiver screen. Quick pass to one receiver. The other 2 receivers go downfield and block the potential tacklers. They executed that pretty well. It's like a wide running play, really.
Harrell out of the shotgun. Fakes the underneath stuff. Back to Fulani. Works his way, pulls his way inside the 10-yard line.
Wow. And Davis. I'm just watching that Minnesota defense. Look at them move. They're just, you know, it's just not the same guys we saw in the first half.
Coach, again, it bears repeating. This would be the greatest bowl comeback in the history of the NCAA.
I think
a 31-point deficit that Texas Tech was able to erase.
He's audibling right now. Oh. Steve Davis.
Yeah, a little too anxious, and Steve Davis gets in there way early.
Defense, number 92, unabated to the quarterback. It's a 5-yard, half the distance to the goal.
If there was ever a time for a team to live up to his profile on the season, would be now. That means take the ball away. If they, they've been so good at taking the ball away all year and tonight as well. If they did it now, they'd win the football.
It would be a huge play.
Huge play.
They led the nation in takeaways, the turnover margin, and we told you about the significance of this game, and if Texas Tech was able to win this game, again trailing 38-7, now they find themselves in overtime. Harrell hands it off underneath.
Good defense.
Woods. And he's
Nice
brought
job by
back.
Sherrills.
Yeah, Sherrills
Nice
the captain.
job. Yeah, did a nice job. Played that real inside out. Really nailed him real good.
Harrells. Again they hand up. Sports! Touchdown!
Oh, my God.
The Red Raiders have done it! Woo!
Unbelievable.
They erase a 31-point deficit and stage the largest comeback in the history of bowl games. Unbelievable.
And we were there. Absolutely unbelievable.
And Brandon Jones, their senior, had one of the key blocks, the center. And Glenn Mason cannot believe his eyes.
All right, Coach, down 31 points at one point in this game. Where do you think the momentum shift happened?
We just kept slugging away. We kept slugging away the second half and put ourselves in a position to win it.
You're emotional right now. Why?
Well, it's a hell of an effort by those guys. That was a great effort.
You were just joking with me that you said to me, "Hey, I bet you didn't think you were going to be talking to me."
No,
at the
I
end of
didn't.
this
I don't think you thought you were. I thought we could win the thing. But I'll tell you what, the second half we squandered some chances there too. You know.
You really did think, though, you could win at the half.
Yes, I did.
All right, Coach. Congratulations, Texas Tech, Darren, and Coach. Their first win against a Big Ten team, and Texas Tech advances to 7-6.
They've banged heads. They've gone at it. We've seen about everything. Now you come down to overtime.
Yeah, the tough one for Oklahoma is they thought this thing was over.
Yep.
They thought it was done. Now they have to come back and continue to battle with a team that they thought they had finally put away. And Boise State says, we're not going anywhere.
Adrian Peterson in the backfield. Overtime is underway, and Peterson with the football. Off to the left side. Down the sideline. Leaps. Did he get in or step out of bounds? Touchdown, Adrian Peterson. That did not take long.
Where was more of that stretch play earlier in the ball game with Adrian Peterson? Get into the end zone.
Big point after. And it is good. Off the foot of Garrett Hartley. So one play, a 25-yard touchdown run by Adrian Peterson in overtime. His father celebrating. Can Boise answer? Vinny Peretta thought about throwing the football. He gets back to the line of scrimmage.
He was going to throw that back to the quarterback. He showed it, you have to tuck that ball, give a good run fake first. Well defended by Oklahoma. They ran.
Rolls Zabransky out, comes back the other way to the tight end Schumann. Got a couple of good blocks. But at the end of the day, it's only a gain of 2. A third down upcoming. Third down and 7. Short drop, Zabransky to Schumann, and he bangs his way inside the 15. Good enough for a first down. Ran right into Zach Latimer. Ball to the 13-yard line. First down, Boise State trailing by 7 in the first overtime. Hand off to Peretta.
He should be down back there unless his knee did not hit. I saw the referee coming in. I thought he was coming in to mark him down when he slid, taking the handoff.
You know, they haven't been quote-unquote cute the entire game until now, this overtime.
At the last play of the game, it carries over into overtime. We're seeing the whole playbook.
Second down and 8 for the Broncos at the Oklahoma 11. They're going to hand it off to Ian Johnson. Still on his feet, close to a first down inside the 5 to the 4. Needed to get to about the 3.5. I think he's about a foot short. Third down and less than a yard.
Johnson denied the first down. Is the ball loose or was his knee down? I think they're saying he was down. They are saying, I believe he was down at the 5.5, 6 yard line. This last play, did Johnson's knee hit the ground? And they've just told us the decision on the field stands. So 4th and 2 upcoming for the Broncos.
Let's see if they can answer again.
Vinny Paredes, a converted wide receiver in the backfield.
And he's behind center, and the quarterback Zabransky is in motion.
They run it.
They do this a lot. Paredes to take the snap. He's going to throw it to the end zone. Touchdown!
They're going to go for 2, guys. I'm telling you, they are tired. Listen, when you're Cinderella, at a certain point, you don't keep slugging with the big guy. They're going to try and win the football game right now. That's what I'm telling you.
It's calls like this, it's effort like this, guts like this, which screams for a playoff in Division 1A football. Why not give Boise State the shot at Ohio State, the shot at Florida? This game tonight will further the cries of the underdogs of the world wanting a national championship playoff format.
And you know something else, Tom? The counter to that would be the president saying, is this one outstanding football game or not? What more do we need?
Well, they're also presidents of Division I AA schools and Division II and Division III. Hey, those presidents vote to have a playoff.
I'm not arguing that point, but they're not running this game.
Had their shot at Oklahoma, and they're giving them a heck of a shot.
Guys, I still
don't need to worry about anything else right now. Let's take a look at this.
Zabransky, I still think him with some type of run-pass option going to the right.
Boise State for the win. They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Can you believe it? It doesn't get much better than that.
They're going on a Statue of Liberty play.
Earlier in the season, they ran that look, and they threw a quick screen out of that formation, and this was the counter to it. They knew it was on tape. Oklahoma's seen it. They threw it out there to Nene, and this time they fake it and hand it off the old Statue of Liberty, and no one better than Ian Johnson with the year he's had.
Here comes Clemson at the 25-yard line. Auburn obviously wanted to go defense first because then you know what you need, be it a field goal, a touchdown, whatever the case might be. Let's see if Clemson can re-gear their offense now. They had it going in the third quarter. They had opportunities in the fourth, and they couldn't take advantage of them. Harper too far in front of Tyler Grisham. 2nd down and 10. 2nd and 10. 4 wideouts for Cullen Harper. Quick throw and incomplete, intended for Aaron Kelly.
Did he catch it? They're giving him a catch.
Whoa, they did?
Yeah.
Well, he got about 8 or 9 yards out of it. I didn't think he caught it. Davis puts his head down. Trey Blackman put him down, and it looks like he's got the first down. Again, the tight end is the motion man. Nice play fake by Harper. Now rolls, wants to throw, does, got it to his tight end. Down near the 10. Now that's Michael Palmer. Pickup of about 5. Incidental face mask, that type of thing. Davis puts his head down, now trying to back his way for extra yardage. They're going to give him to about the 7 or 8, right about the 8-yard line. And And he rolls that way. Wants to throw to the end zone. Finally lets it fly, and it's batted down. Walter McFadden got a hand on it. Now Clemson's going to have to send out the field goal unit. From 25, Buchholz, the kick. Oof. He just tucked it inside the left upright. Clemson on the board, but it was only a field goal. Tommy Tuberville likes that. Now he knows his team, a field goal to tie, a touchdown would win. Clemson just like Auburn with a lake.
Yeah, Clemson's.
Here's Brad Lester, and he goes down. DeAndre McDaniel, a 2-yard loss. Low snap, handled it. Pumps, almost let the ball go. Now backpedals and throws it out of bounds. Saves it for another play and didn't lose any more yardage. Had he gotten sacked there, that might have been the lights out.
Yeah, that was good coverage downfield, and he did the smart thing.
Crowd roaring. Cox waits, fires it deep out. He got his man down near the first down marker at the 15.
Wow. He didn't get it. He did not get the first down.
It's all right. He got a lot of yardage and making it for an easier field goal.
But what do you do here now? You've got 4th down in about, what, 6 inches?
You kick the field goal. If you don't make it, you lose the game.
They're leaving the offense out there right now, and they're running them up to the line.
And do I like this?
Auburn trying to play for the win.
This may be a no snap thing where you try to pull them off sides.
Cox, quarterback sneak, he's hit. I think he got it. Gutsy, very gutsy.
I love Tommy.
Just like another day at the office, huh?
Yeah, I love it.
Cody Burns in there. Ben Tate pinballs his way down to about the 11. Courtney Vincent made the stop. Auburn, a touchdown, wins it. 2nd down and 7. Lester thought he got face masked in the middle of that pile. The way his head turned around, he got 4 more. Brad Lester, again, a local product from Parkview High School, playing basically in his hometown.
A turnover will lose the game.
Low snap, Burns fielded it, picks it up, touchdown! Auburn wins in overtime.
The 8th edition of the R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl here in the Louisiana Superdome has been fantastic. It is an overtime game. Larry Blakeney's team trying to win this game for the 2nd time, taking on Southern Mississippi. Southern Mississippi will start with the football here in the extra session. The redshirt freshman Austin Davis has been pretty darn good. He's going to have to lead his Golden Eagles starting at the 25-yard line here. Damian Fletcher, 1,000-yard rusher in the backfield alongside Davis. And they want to throw on 1st down. The blitz is on, and Davis succumbs. Brandon Lang is going to be credited with the tackle, the junior from Tucker, Georgia. They may have already dropped out of field goal range after one play. They'll need to get it back. Davis wants to run. Brought down at the 22. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 7. The catch is made. Football's down. Incomplete. Incomplete. Jodrick Morse couldn't hold on. It's going to bring up 4th down and 7. Terrence Moore, some good defense there to separate the ball from Mr. Moore. A 38-yarder and a 46-yarder. Upright and in. The 39-yarder is good. If Southern Miss wins, we're going to have to give serious thought to giving the player of the day to Britt Barefoot. On 1st down, Levi Brown throws it away. 2nd down and 10. Catch is made. Jernigan out close to the first down marker. Looks like he's going to have enough.
Location, location, location. Levi Brown put that ball in a location where his wide receiver, Jernigan, could not only catch the football, but turn up the field and pick up the first down for this Troy offense.
The hand to Jernigan. He's down to the 10.
And if you're Southern Miss right here, none of this matters. You just do not want to allow Troy to get in the end zone. If you're Troy, you're trying to find any way. Get this football across the goal line because you don't want to get that Southern Miss offense back on the field. You want the game to end right here, right now.
It's going to bring up third down. Here we go, third down and 6.
From Southern Miss, I bring the whole kitchen sink. I force Levi Brown to have to make a decision and make it quickly.
They're not coming. Just a 3-man rush. They spit it out to Harris, and he can't come up with a football. Conservative defensively, conservative offensively. 2 for 2. Southern Miss wins! Michael McGee stormed in with his hair on fire. And it's the Southern Miss Golden Eagles with the W.
The theory has been proven to be totally accurate. Just 8 or 99% of the time, the team always goes on defense because you want to see exactly what you got left because the other team's going to get the ball. So you'd rather have them make a statement, either a touchdown, a field goal, or
no
nothing.
chance to do.
Yeah.
Now the
well, first down from the 25. Well, you still have to contend with him as a ball carrier, and he's off and running and shoved out of bounds at the 15-yard line. So it's going to be a first down and 10 for Missouri. Chase will hand this one off to Washington. He gets banged hard, but he's going to take it for about 4.5. Vince Brown was there defensively. If you just joined us, we are in overtime. Washington again. Reverses, nothing to the right, goes back to the left again, and he's going to be tackled at around the 7-yard line. Third down. They got to take it to the 5 or go for a field goal or go for it on 4th. But you got to come away with points. Plenty of time on the play clock. Boy, fumbled it over the middle, throws the touchdown. Wow. Macklin. And Daniel was fumbling the football. Still had the presence to maintain and get the pass away. And now, if the extra point attempt is good, then big shoes to fill as far as Northwestern is concerned. It means they kind of come up with a touch.
Excellent job by Daniel.
Good pass. Extra point is right down the middle. And remember this. Cannot have a turnover or the game's over. Bechet fakes the pitch. He's got to keep it and go down to the 19-yard line.
Not bad for a guy who had a tweaked ankle earlier in the game.
You're right. Yeah. Christopher and Shulock combining on the stop. Pressure from the backside. Throws it complete. Peterman. First and goal inside the 10 Northwestern. Shulock was the man with the pressure that time. Stack receivers. 3 to the right. But they roll it the other way, and he throws the ball underthrows because he had to get rid of it. And Bechet wound up on his backside as he had a couple of defensive players, Hood and also Weatherspoon, coming after him big time. Quarterback draw, and now it is going to be 3rd down and goal. He took it to around the 8-yard line. Witherspoon and Hood combining for the tackle. Here comes pressure from the outside, and he is hit as the ball is thrown. It's recovered by Northwestern. It is a turnover, and it is 4th down at the 32-yard line. And Sean Witherspoon is the man who was making the tackle.
And this was confusion on the offensive line. The center had pointed out this linebacker, Christopher. They're going to slide this way and leave the outside rusher to come totally free. Sutton, the running back, was over to that side. The center reset his line, and they did not pick up the outside rusher. A mental mistake up front by an offensive line with all first-year starters in their first bowl game. Boy, that's a tough one.
So we are having a review on the play.
We're wondering if that ball came out of Bechet's hands.
You know, if you're Pat Fitzgerald, what a worthwhile challenge, because a world of difference.
I think it's a fumble.
I do too. It looked as though it came out of his hand before the arm started forward.
I agree.
Look again, judge for yourself. I'll tell you, Witherspoon.
After review, the call on the field has been confirmed. The arm did not go forward. It is a fumble, 4th down.
To see if he can get it in.
No, here we go. Pressure from the outside. Going to go for it all at the end zone, which he has to do. And the ball is knocked down. In fact, may have been intercepted by William Moore. And the Missouri Tigers, they called it incomplete, have come from behind and have won over the Northwestern Wildcats.
First down at the 25. Start of overtime here in the 2010 Outback Bowl. Todd pulls it down, looking deep, and well overthrown. Intended for Zachary.
Audible by Northwestern will counter the audible made by Auburn's offense.
And it's a handoff to Tate. He's to the outside. Inside the 15 and reaches the 10-yard line. Good play there by Todd.
What was that? A backdoor?
Yeah.
A little backdoor handoff.
And Ryan Pugh got away with a hold on Nate Williams. He kind of horse-collared Nate Williams, the middle linebacker.
First down and goal. Here's Tate again to the 5-yard line. Here Burns is going to run. And he gets hit at the 4-yard line. He was tripped up initially by Williams, cleaned up by Sherrick McManus. It brings up 3rd and goal. Todd back to throw. End zone, it's tipped and incomplete. It's 4th down. For a short field goal try. 21 yards. Give Auburn the lead. Northwestern will have a possession. And it's good. So Auburn leads at 38-35. Let's go back.
See what kind of defense Auburn's playing, a zone defense.
He's handed off to Markshausen. He's going to try to throw it back to Kafka, who is well covered. Auburn not fooled. Markshausen gets a block. And he's pushed out of bounds at the 21. Well, they're going to take a chance there. They're going for the win.
That's a man beater.
So gain of 4. Good job by Markshausen not to force it. Kafka. Over the middle. Markshausen lost it. It's ruled a fumble. It's loose. Kafka picks it up. It's still live. Now a couple of penalty flags fly in downfield at the spot of the fumble. It was ruled a catch and a fumble, a recovery by Kafka, but again, penalty flags down. Did he ever secure it, guys?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Well, let's see what the penalty is. I don't know if they're going to get somebody for late hit, because it was thrown back by Markshausen. The flags, to me, I don't know if he had complete possession of that football. I don't think he did.
And had Auburn recovered that fumble, it would have been the game. And first going to figure out the flags, but every play is reviewed. So upstairs, the technical advisor already taking a look at this to determine whether was a catch or not.
You see if it's after. Remember, there are 2 flags, as you said,
yeah,
Dave, right down there in the field. It's yet to be determined.
After further review, the runner was down prior to the fumble. Therefore, there is no foul for an illegal bat. It will be 3rd down and 1 from the 16.
So they looked at the spot and everything and determined that he was down, that it was a catch, but that he was down a yard short of the first down.
Right. So it wasn't a fumble, so there was no bat. So there was no penalty. So it's 3rd and 1.
Talk about a 4-hour game. That's what you get when one team throws 80 passes. Wouldn't take a gamble and fake it and hit Brewer matched up in one-on-one coverage.
Well, quarterback sneak. Kafka on the second effort. Certainly got close. May have got it. He did not get it initially, but on the second lunge, I think he got the first down based on where the ball was. And it is a first down for Northwestern. First down at the Auburn 15. A touchdown to win the game. Here comes a blitz. Kafka in trouble, and he can't get rid of it. They run a fumble. Auburn's got it. Tigers win the game. They may spend some more time looking at this to see if A, Kafka was down, or B, his arm was going forward, but the initial ruling is a fumble. Greg Stevens had a hold of Kafka and an Auburn recovery.
After further review, the quarterback was down. The ball will be placed. Second down.
So it's second down at the 31-yard line. That should be where the spot is. But again, if you can't move the ball, you're forcing Demos to kick a long field goal again.
Auburn's in a zone package.
Throw it to the left.
Yep. Kafka's pass, and there was contact. Thorpe and Stewart, no flag. It is 3rd down at about 24.
Yeah, now you work to get your field goal kicker the best possible play.
Now he's ready. Play clock at 10. Kafka to the air. Hit as he throws. Markshausen on the catch. And he got about 12. He's well short of the first down, but that will make it much easier 36. For Demos. Yeah. Again, he's missed from 44 and 48.
And an extra point blocked.
Yep. He got a little bit of wind behind him. This to tie the game and send it to a second overtime. It's a 37-yard attempt. Demos kick is no good. Auburn wins.
The flag. They got a flag down there. They're going to get him.
Penalty flag thrown
at
at the 26-yard line. If it is roughing, even though it's 4th and 14, so if it's roughing, it's a first down.
Roughing the kicker, number 46 of the defense.
Roughing the referee.
Penalty being forced half the distance to the goal. First down.
How about this? I've said Auburn's won the game twice.
Yes.
Yet Northwestern still has the ball with a chance to win. They'll get a fresh set of downs. Oh, wow. Is that... It easily just called that running into the kicker, which had been a 5-yard penalty.
No, that's roughing. That's roughing. A guy on one leg, and you hit him like that?
Well, you didn't see him.
I don't care if you didn't see him.
Usually you only have one corner rusher.
Kafka has it complete to Markshausen. Thorpe on the stop. I know Cats normally had 9 lives. Northwestern's had about 400 in this game. They've been down 14 points on 2 different occasions in this game. Come back, and here we are in overtime. They ruled that an incompletion. They said Markshausen did not complete the catch, so it's 2nd and goal. Kafka going to get hit. He gets away from the defender. Kafka tucking and running and knocked out of bounds after a gain of 1 or 2 by Darren Bates. It brings up 3rd down and goal.
One man.
Kafka has time. Everybody covered. Kafka to the 5-yard line, and it's 4th down. So Flaherty straps on the helmet, and
He'll get ready to go out there here on 4th down to try to send it to a second overtime.
They've been up in Chicago, up in the Northwestern. They're coming down to Tampa for a week. I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to.
And it's a fake. And to the 2 now. Ball comes out. Auburn wins. How about that decision to go for the fake, guys, on a short field goal?
Wow.
Agree or disagree?
Well, I don't know what you have in Flaherty. I really don't. So it's hard for me to say. I don't know. But I know this.
Hey, they lived this way the whole season. They gambled the whole time. They probably liked that play as much as they liked that 2-point play down here that tied it up.
And it would have been about a 22-yard field goal. The direct snap to Dan Persa. No, it wasn't Persa. It was Markshausen, and Auburn was not fooled.
Great job by Auburn of running and hustling. Nico Thorpe with a game-saving tackle. Carter stretching it out, number 45. Great job of Carter and Nico Thorpe defeating their blocks and saving the day for the Tiger defense.
Our situation, overtime. First overtime, we're tied at 17. And, of course, you look up at the clock, and it's 0-0. You know, Arkansas has a great record, but they also have a record that I'm sure they're not overly happy with, and that is for really long overtime periods.
Well, and as that goes on, with as cold as it is and guys starting to wear out a little bit, you figure the offenses would have an advantage, and it could start to become a touchdown, and that's why several years ago they put in the third overtime go for 2, which I thought was a good rule change. I think it came out of one of those Arkansas games.
Yeah, it did. The one at Ole Miss, I think. They also had a 6 overtime game up in Knoxville against the Volunteers. I know we did that when that game ended well after midnight. And Arkansas showing blitz off the corner, and they do. The run goes the other way, and Lindsey is only going to have about a yard and a half on this one. Pinckney steps back to throw. Ball is tipped and is tipped again by Arkansas. And I'll tell you, Tremaine Thomas may have saved a touchdown with the second tip.
And now here, this is interesting because now you have to send your field goal unit on. And Hartman 1 for 4 on the day. I'm a little surprised. I mean, this is a shorter kick, but a little surprised that Skip Holtz is not going to go for this because Hartman has just not been good in this weather.
Doesn't matter. 2.5 yards is not high odds on a night like this. See if he can knock this one down. It's going to be for 36 yards. Good pass. He's missed this one also. Yanked it left. So Arkansas, any kind of points they can come up with, they are going to win their first Liberty Bowl game. Well, his ball club right now, a little bit in harm's way. Mallett throws back. 30, 25, and it's Dennis Johnson who makes the reception. They still, because the ball was thrown so far back because of the screen, they only picked up 2.5 yards on that play.
And I think that if you are Arkansas, I don't think you're thinking field goal. I think Bobby Petrino has to be thinking, let's score a touchdown, win by 6, and get out of here, because the kicking game for both teams has been so bad tonight.
First overtime, East Carolina failed to score. Arkansas on offense, and the running play to Green is going to go inside the 20. Trying to move it down to pick up some points to get the win. Ball incomplete, and because Childs, the defender, was trying to make the interceptions, if he grabs it, all he's got to do is turn around and walk into the end zone.
Well, and this ball was a little late getting over there. And a ball that could have been caught. But here comes another adventure in the kicking game. Tejada missed one in the fourth quarter here, missed 2 against Florida in a 23-20 loss, and
so
this one against LSU.
This one, Ed, is going to be 37 yards. 37-yard attempt to break the 17-all tie in the first overtime. Ball is down. Kick is plenty low, and it is plenty good. The Arkansas Razorbacks have just won in overtime the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
In the GMAC Bowl, third quarter, the Chippewas down by 5 until Antonio Brown gets in the end zone from 7 yards out, and Central Michigan grabs a 19-17 lead. 31 seconds to go in the third quarter. Second and goal for Troy. DeJuan Harris, a $112 and 2 touchdowns on the night. The Trojans go on top 24-19. We move on to the fourth. Central Michigan down 31-19, desperately needing a big play with less than 8 minutes to go, and Brown provides that with a 95-yard kickoff return. After the extra point, the Trojans' lead is cut to 5. Less than a minute and a half remaining in the fourth. Now Central Michigan has the ball back. Dan Lefevre, 395 yards on the night, connecting with Brian Anderson. After the conversion, the Chippewas up by 3. Just over 30 seconds to go in regulation. This is descended into OT. Michael Taylor from 46 yards, and it's good. After each team traded touchdowns in the first overtime, we head to the second OT. The Chippewas with a chance to win it. Andrew Aguilar from 36 yards, and that's your ball game as Central Michigan picks up just their second bowl win in school history with a 44-41 victory over Troy.
All right, North Carolina, Tennessee down here, please. North Carolina will go on offense at the 12.5 yard line.
Carolina gets that ball at the 12.5 yard line.
That's a big advantage.
Huge advantage. If we can go back and see what that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty was on Tennessee, the last play of the game that carries over into overtime.
Well, you think about the ending of this one in regulation with the unsportsmanlike, and then the Kansas State game, the unsportsmanlike conduct.
Let's look at the field goal that's made and see if we can see where this flag came from. It may have come from the bench. I hate to speculate. There it was right there. They roughed the kicker. He roughed the kicker.
And working now with just half the field from the 12.5. First down in overtime. Yates completes it down to the 5. That was Ryan Taylor. To think that they were down and out with 31 seconds to go deep in their own territory in regulation. No timeouts remaining.
All those things, and then to cap it off, you rough the kicker on the game-winning time. The game-tying field goal with no time left, and that penalty carries over into overtime and puts them at the 12.5 yard line, half the distance to the goal.
Second and 3. Drone trying to get to the edge. It's a foot race. Brought down.
Got another
face mask. Sean Drone was brought down by the face mask. And that's going to be a penalty and a first down.
Yeah, Prentice Wagner.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense.
Boy, Tennessee is imploding right now.
How fast can it unravel? With 30 seconds, that's clearly a face mask. But with 30 seconds left in this game, we're talking about Tennessee winning 5 straight games. Tangible evidence that the plan is in place. All of a sudden, it unravels on Tennessee.
First and goal now.
And the big offensive fullback in there at about 300 pounds.
Back to Drone. And he gets in for the score. Oh, no, they're going to mark it at the 1. Looked like he ended up all the way in the end zone. Gibbs keeps it himself. No signal yet. Touchdown now. They're going to go for 1 on the extra point. Here's one more look. Yates He didn't make it by much on that first effort.
Well, it's the little bit of the bush push by Tydrick Powell. The defensive tackle in there at fullback pushed him into the end zone.
Can't take these extra points for granted. We've seen it. And Carolina up by 7 points. Ray hands it off. That's number 28, Torrin Poole. Down after a gain of about 4 on the play. Ray into the end zone. Touchdown! Wow! Unbelievable! Luke Stocker.
When you play 2 deep coverage, you ask that linebacker to run down the middle of that field. Watch Kevin Riddick, 48. This is great coverage down the middle of the field on Stocker. He just goes up and makes the play. Another senior stepping up, fighting to the very end.
Here's the extra point.
He missed it earlier.
You kind of hold your breath.
Tyler Bray is no ordinary freshman.
Not anymore. Jones in motion. And they give it to the tailback, Torrin Poole.
You wonder, as good as Tyler Bray is, he's still a freshman. He finished this thing out mistake-free. You have to think about Luke Stocker, the tight end. Number 88 flexed out here as a wide receiver.
On second down, Bray underneath completes it to Jones. And Jones is stopped up. But it looks like he got close enough and may have gotten the first down. They're going to give him a favorable spot on his forward progress. It's going to be first down, Tennessee. 1 a night for the freshman quarterback, Tyler Bray. On first down. Handed off to Poole, who slips and falls. It falls forward to about the 13-yard line.
I think
gained a yard on the play.
I think Tennessee.
Play action. Picked off. Sturdivant. And North Carolina now can win it on a field goal. Quan Sturdivant with the pick. He's still a freshman. You were saying a moment ago, Bob.
Could he finish mistake-free? Because he is still a freshman. Quan Sturdivant, the senior linebacker, just threw it to him. You saw number 46 slipped. Channing Fugate, the fullback. But a freshman is still a freshman. But Derek Dooley, you've got a special one that you can develop.
Another big twist in this night of twists and turns. They're going to whistle this one dead before the snap.
Timeout.
Tennessee calling a timeout. He's hit 7 of his last 9 passes. Drawn with a great move. Drawn with a first down. And Drone gets it deep into Tennessee territory.
The highest of highs and now the lowest of lows.
Drone down to the 6-yard line.
He's going to kick the field goal right here.
I think he set it up. Here it comes. Here comes the field goal unit. North Carolina trying to take advantage of that turnover. The interception thrown by Tyler Bray, and in comes Casey Barth. He's made a couple already tonight.
I always think about that snapper, Mark House, the holder, Trace Jones. It's not just Barth, it's the whole mechanics.
From 23 yards out. And Carolina takes it home.
Vern, who has the advantage here? I'm going to beat you to the question because I knew you were going to ask me.
No.
Who's got the advantage?
We're reversing roles here. How did that happen?
I don't know. I really don't.
Well, I'm going to guess. Boy, this fence hurts.
Really?
Yeah. I think Utah. Just based on the 14 points they scored.
I'm not a big momentum guy.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
But we'll see. I do know this. A field goal kicker is very important in overtime.
And the field goals will go with the wind, ride the wind at this end. Here's Washington out in the flat. Preston Lyons, the fullback.
Stephen Hill very upset, but he didn't realize that Tevin Washington had pressure on him and he had to dump it.
Second down and 8. Washington finally finds a receiver. That's at the 17-yard line. It's Preston Lyons again. And Star Lotulelei makes the tackle.
They don't make it here.
Oh, boy.
You got to think field goal. You can't pitch a 0.
Washington is brought down by number 97,
Tavita Finau makes the tackle on the quarterback keeper.
Boy, he went right to his quarterback to call a play. Paul Johnson did. He's watched his field goal kicker miss too many of those.
4th and 2. And they are going to...
You know, I just got a note from David Moulton, my spotter. It's they are 1 for 4, but they're 1 for 1 in this direction. He's missed them into the wind, not with the wind. I wonder if he's got second thoughts. He just took a timeout.
Yes.
Their first and final timeout of this period.
So they have used the only timeout.
I just got to put points on the board. I'm just surprised they're going to go for it. They are going to go for the field goal.
Justin Moore.
You just got to, you know, if the other team comes out there knowing they just need a field goal to win, I mean, ask Alabama. You know, I mean, not putting 3 points on the board is tough.
34-yarder. Sean Poole will hold. Here's Moore. And this one looks perfect. It is.
Yeah, I think the second thoughts were the best thoughts on that one.
So Georgia Tech takes an early lead here in overtime.
Now, why is the field goal a game winner?
Sweep, right side. Reggie Dunn.
That was a big missed tackle there.
Right side. John White to the 15, maybe the 16-yard line.
About the same situation. Didn't we have the same exact thing for Georgia Tech?
Yes, we did.
3rd and short.
Devontae Christopher doesn't even come to the huddle. He's wide to the left. Play action. They lob it out. They've got Asiata. He's to the 10. He's down to the 8.
Did he trip over Christopher's feet? Because Christopher had the block to spring him all the way to the end zone. They ran that sneak to the fullback. Right. About the 3rd or 4th time they run it in the game. Get it to him. I thought he could get to the outside. He did trip over Christopher's feet.
You're right. No?
Close.
Hard to tell there.
Either that or his own feet. One of the two.
First down and goal. White to the 5. Has just become the all-time single-season rushing leader for Utah. He gets it again, and he is hit.
Oh, that was stuffed very nicely inside. I think I was on cross that time, didn't it? Number 94, make the play.
Whoa. Looks like John Cullen, the left tackle.
All-star offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Left side, 77 on the screen. Boy, that was a deep drop.
3rd down. Here comes the rush.
Yep.
Touchdown, John White. This game is over. Utah wins.
Back
back at the Outback Bowl in Tampa. John Gruden and Jen Brown, Mike Tirico. Overtime, first time for these teams this year. And the third time in the 26-year history of the Outback Bowl. Michigan State starts on offense. Number 25, Cousins will give to Le'Veon Bell. Up the middle, and he's tied up by Avery Jones, who had a big play earlier. Adjusting the protection up front of the line. Here's the senior Cousins. Pressure off the edge, he throws. It's intercepted and taken away by Bakari Rambo. Rambo brought down at the 26-yard line. So now with a flag on the back end of it, now Georgia will have a chance to win the game with points.
Sanders Cummings, it's pressure. See what the penalty is first, but Sanders Cummings comes on a short corner blitz just like they did earlier in this football game. They create another turnover.
Post play after the interception, it was contact. It looked like a late hit. Rambo was hoping to score and end the game with a defensive score in overtime. Now the administration of this flag after the play, very important. Determining when it happened, number one. And here's Ed Ardito.
During the return, we had a personal foul on number 36 on Georgia. By rule, that penalty is automatically declined. It'll be 1st and 10 now for Georgia at the 25.
Automatic decline because it's after the interception, so possession has changed hands, so that foul doesn't change who would get the ball. It's Georgia ball, no points at the top of the first OT.
Well, Sanders Cummings is going to come off the short side of the field. He's not going to be blocked. And it's just a great job by Georgia blitzing and playing zone coverage behind the blitz. And when you have a veteran safety like Rambo, that's when they flourish the most. Rambo has 13 interceptions. He's made a living playing in this blitz-happy scheme of Todd Grantham. He's got a tough decision. Should he turn pro or come back to Athens next year? If all these Bulldogs come back, they'll be a top 5 team, I think, Mike.
He's a ball-hawking safety who has said, I used to be a hard hitter, now I've turned into a ball hawker back there. Started that SEC championship game. Just going to get right to the middle of the field here, and from here a field goal is 43 yards, and they're going to go for it on 3rd down and bring out Walsh. Interesting decision here. Don't want to mess around anymore. Go to Walsh, who his sophomore year won a game against Arizona State. He has a chance to take the all-time Georgia points record on his final kick as a Bulldog. He's missed 12 this year. Michigan State has a timeout to ice him, and they'll use it before the attempt by Walsh. 42 yards for the win on the way, and it is wide right. No good, and the game goes on. He had missed 5 field goals from between 40 and 49, so the decision just to center it in the middle of the field, not get further down the field on 3rd down, cost him. Scoreless overtime, number 2 after this. The back is Carlton Thomas. Big play, Marlon Brown in the slot. Nearly intercepted as Darquez Denard was in front of Tavares King. And we will have a 47-yard into the wind field goal attempt coming up here.
Well, it's a 4-deep zone. You're going to see a 4-deep zone, and the Spartans run overload pressure with it. So Murray has to get rid of the football. And again, it's just good, solid defense. Darquez Denard, good zone recognition, big field goal right here. Walsh needs to redeem himself.
Georgia for the lead. Blair Walsh, 47 on the way, hooking it in. Good kick. Great to see a senior not end his kicking career on that missed field goal.
That was a great kick right there.
Sure was. So they lose 5 yards, and those who are critical of the college football overtime rules, we had this fodder to your argument. Run 3 plays, lose 5 yards, still get a chance to score points. It is 3rd and 3 for Cousins. Moves the pocket, throws it towards the end zone, toward nickel. Good coverage, and the pressure made the difference there. Again, Jarvis Jones. So Michigan State on 2nd and 3 and 3rd and 3. Didn't choose to run the ball with Bell. Threw it both times. And now a field goal attempt to tie the game.
Yeah, Jones gets off in the bottom of the screen and beats Dan France, the left tackle from Michigan State.
So it's on the foot of Dan Conroy, 2nd year as the Spartan kicker. Out of Wheaton, Illinois, Mark Richt has a timeout, and he'll use it to let the junior think about his 35-yard potential game tire to send us to a 3rd overtime. Conroy hasn't had a game-winning attempt in his career. This is to tie the game. It's 35 to force a 3rd overtime. Last snap was bad. This one's okay. Kicks on the way. And we're on the way to OT number 3. Quick snap. Cousins, play action. In the flat. Martin couldn't catch it. Oh! Keyshawn Martin had a 1st down. Maybe a touchdown.
Would have been him and Rambo at that front pylon. Hard play action fake to Le'Veon Bell. And they try to leak Keyshawn Martin out in the flat. Wasn't a perfect throw, but I've seen Martin catch those all year for the Spartans.
Dan Conroy. Moore has been the one snapping here today. Let's see how this one is. Sontag having a tough time getting it down. And Conroy able to knock it through. 33 to 30. Georgia with a touchdown wins the Outback Bowl. Junior. Aaron Murray in his hometown. Touchdown wins the game. Sophomore sets. He takes a shot. Incomplete. As the pass was intended toward Marlon Brown. Georgia's missed a field goal already in overtime. Field goal to keep it going. Touchdown to win the game. Murray with time. It's deflected, and it's almost intercepted. Would have been the game winner. Marcus Rush dropping back in coverage. Got a hand on it. Now we have 3rd down coming up. Murray, look out from behind. He's sacked by Golston. Back at the 30, so a field goal is going to be about 47 yards with the wind at his back to try to keep the game alive. To send us to a 4th overtime. It is blocked! It is blocked! Sparty-on! Michigan State sends its senior class out with a bowl win.
Third overtime game in the history of the Fiesta Bowl. And who can forget the previous 2? Ohio State and Miami, and Boise State and Oklahoma. One of the wild, dramatic finishes in the history of college football. Luck under center. They start with Taylor. And he bends forward near the 20, a gain of 5. Back to the 25. Taylor in trouble. And Caleb Levy drops it for a loss. They'll mark it at the 27. And now they're running the risk of having to attempt a long field goal by Williamson, who has to be a little bit rattled after what happened a moment ago. Some very conservative runs here to start overtime. Now they put it in the hands of Luck. 4-man rush, throws short. Montgomery couldn't make Markel Martin miss. Down to the 25, right where this overtime session started. And Williamson returns to the center of the ring.
Bill Young did just that. He showed 3 short, but he brought 5. And because of the pressure, he had to dump it off quickly underneath.
Both misses this year in the red zone for Stanford were field goal misses by Williamson. He missed a 33-yarder against Cal, a 35-yarder to win it here a moment ago. Now a 43-yarder from the right hash mark to give them the lead. And that one Barnes hooking, and that one is no good. That time there was a little bit of an issue with the snap and hold.
He rolled it
Fowler
back.
bounced back.
Yeah, he rolled it back and did a nice job of getting that thing back up, Sean.
McClinsky, the holder, did get it down, and Williamson had plenty of leg. And now Oklahoma State, which has not led in tonight's game at any point, will win it with a score here, and they're in field goal range, so it'll be interesting to see how they play it. Some critics of this format don't like the fact that you're in field goal range really when it starts, and Quinn Sharp is a great kicker. They flip it to Blackman, and he slips down as he tried to make a cut with Howell right in his face. No gain. They go out of the gun with Jeremy Smith, who's more of a physical runner. They're just going to put it in the middle of the field and put it on the foot of Sharp. Sharp 1 for 1 tonight. The chip shot 19-yarder. 21 out of 24 on the season. Has not had any blocked. Connor Circo is the snapper. Wes Harlan the holder to win it. It is good. Oklahoma State has won the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. The only lead of the night for Mike Gundy and the Cowboys is the margin of victory.
20-20 at the end of regulation. So starting at the 25-yard line. Bernard Robinson can keep the headset on to find out what his offense needs once Logan Thomas and company are done with their shot.
Boy, and so often, first down has been such a critical down tonight, the whole game, and in overtime, this first down play is usually very, very significant.
3 wideouts to the top of your screen for Logan Thomas, but they will run the ball with Wilson. And he got 2 very tough yards. Craig Rowe made first contact. Wilson again. Got close to the 20, but it's going to bring up 3rd down. He's already hit from 37 once tonight. Justin Meyer trying to go 5 for 5 from 37 in overtime. This one is no good. Wide right. You just don't want it to happen in a bowl game. Michigan with a chance to win in overtime. Takes over at the 25. Toussaint 2 or 3.
Robinson pretty much running this one.
Toussaint dancing in the hole, got to the 20. 2 more. It'll bring up 3rd down. There's the run back to the middle that Todd was talking about. And he actually might have lost a couple of feet.
Remember yesterday now when Michigan State and Georgia were playing, Georgia kind of went for the same kind of situation. 3 very conservative plays to set up a field goal in overtime. Missed the field goal.
Drew Dillio to hold. Brendan Gibbons, 37-yard field goal attempt, the same distance Virginia Tech missed. Gibbons, kick on the way, and it is perfect. Wolverines in overtime. The All-State Sugar Bowl champion.
Second play of the game, Logan Thomas never sees the snap from Caleb Barris. Then Thomas tries to pick it up in the end zone. Not a good idea, although I don't really have a good one. Kasim Green recovers for Rutgers 7-0. The Scarlet Knights make it 10-0. Logan Thomas looking to make up for it by going deep. But Brandon Jones there to pick it off. In fact, Jones picks off Thomas twice in the game. Frank Beamer not happy with his team down 10-0 at the half. We go to the fourth quarter, 10-3, Antone Exum. Remember, used his bowl game gift card to buy presents for kids he met in the store. Got a gift himself. The nice pick there takes it all the way back to the 20. A great chance for the Hokies to tie it, right? 3 plays later, Thomas, the fade to Corey Fuller. Yes, touchdown Hokies. 2 catches in the game for Fuller, both clutch. We're tied at 10. We go to overtime. Cody Journell, 22 yards for Virginia Tech. They go first and go up 13-10. Nick Borghese for Rutgers, 42 yards. No, he misses wide right. Virginia Tech comes back from being down 10-0, winning 13-10 in OT.
Just an awesome Miami Beach Bowl, 45-45, going to overtime. There's the trophy. That's what's on the line. Seems like even a little more is on the line. Yeah. I like that trophy, though.
It's a good-looking trophy.
To come up with a brand-new trophy for a brand-new bowl.
Boy, now, I mean, these teams have been trading blows back and forth, back and forth. Everybody's been able to respond. Now it's BYU's turn. Christian Stewart had a heck of a game at quarterback. Looking to cap his career off with an overtime win.
So here we go. Stewart, play fake. Pressured. Stewart wisely got rid of it. Throws it away. 2nd and 10. Handoff. Lasike got a couple of yards. Now,
you got to feel, too, that Memphis has the edge in the kicking game, too. If this does become a field goal kicking contest,
big time,
then Memphis has that edge there because BYU has struggled.
Career long distance of Trevor Sampson. Stewart pressured. Lobs one up. It is caught. Well, I don't know. They say incomplete. My goodness, what an effort by Jordan Leslie, who had it pinned against his shoulder pad for what would have been an all-time catch. And the ball touched the turf.
Well, I thought he wrestled it away for a second. Bakari Oye is running stride for stride. Safety's coming over the top, too. He's got it on his shoulder pad.
Man.
I don't know. Right there at the very, very end. What an effort, though, from Jordan Leslie.
Wow.
Man.
Career long. 45 yards for Sampson. The hold, the kick on the way, and it is good. Wow. Well, they said it was his range.
And it was his range right there. Wow.
So BYU with 3 points at least. Down by 3. Lynch is hit. The ball's loose, and the Tigers do come up with it. Daniel Montiel with the recovery. Bronson Kafusi with the strip sack. Now they have the kicker with the big range. 9-yard loss, though. Now they hand it off, and they might lose some more. Brandon Hayes staying on his feet, and he will take a pop. The Tigers are going backwards. They lose 3 more on that play. And I think they have big range. Lynch pressured again. Incomplete. This will be a long field goal try, but this is within the realm of possibility for Jake Elliott.
He hit the crossbar on a 53. If he hits the exact same kick, it goes in. Different. I think that there's not much wind, but at the little bit of wind there is, I think he's kicking into right now, which could be a difference.
So here we go. 52 yards to keep the game going and get us into double overtime. And I say 52. They're going to spot it. This is a 55-yard kick. Here goes. Snap, hold, kick on the way. Does it have enough? It does! From 55, Jake Elliott ties the game and sends it to double overtime. Second overtime begins. Lynch throws. Incomplete. Looking for Kewan Malone. But Rob Daniel with the pass breakup. Lynch. That one is caught by Malone. Nice catch. Lynch had to hang in there again. He's short, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave him the first down, so they gave him a good spot. Now Hayes very quickly. Memphis wasn't wasting any time.
The advantage going up tempo.
Yep.
Sometimes you can catch the officials, get a playoff. They don't get a chance to review it. Still waiting for number 40, Alan Cross, to make a play. That big tight end.
Wipe the blood away from his face. Lynch on the move. Kind of a long throw. Caught. Touchdown. Roderick Proctor.
Well, we have gone down the depth chart for Memphis. So many different receivers have pitched in, made great catches. We've seen Craig, Frazier, Malone. Now it's Proctor, the freshman. Comes down with it.
Yeah, I think he did keep that forearm under the ball. So this should be a little more routine for Jake Elliott. And 55 to tie and keep the game going. Extra point. Up and good. My goodness.
There we go. He's looking for one or two more.
Yeah, and they know they have to get to the end zone. They cannot try a field goal. Double overtime. Handoff. Lasike just nowhere to go. Stuffed by Tank Jakes. And we have not talked a lot about Jakes, who is a conference defensive player of the year. 2nd and 9 for Stewart and BYU. With time to throw over the middle. Intercepted. It's over.
As the new era Pinstripe Bowl, it's extra football between Boston College and Penn State. And Tyler Murphy will have his opportunity first. That means Christian Hackenberg, Matt, will know exactly what he has to do when he gets the football in overtime number 1. In overtime. Element up the middle for a yard. Net by Johnson.
Austin Johnson again.
Play action for Murphy. In the flat, open, but taking a hit at about the 21-yard line is Dan Crimmins. All in all, he picks up about 3, so it'll be 3rd down and 6. Murphy instead comes back to the right. Dudek makes the catch, breaks a tackle. David Dudek, his first catch of the game, and it's good for a touchdown.
That's a heck of a throw by Tyler Murphy. That thing was on a laser. Small window, and Dudek came up with this. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, man, right in between the both backer and the corner. That is a great throw by Tyler Murphy.
You were looking for the short, dangerous weapon for Boston College. Just circled the wrong one.
Exactly.
Dudek at about 5'10", got loose, scores the touchdown, but the extra point is missed. And that is not the first time we have seen that from BC this year. BC late getting set. Hackenberg into the end zone. It is caught. It's a touchdown. Kyle Carter's got it. And the Nittany Lions are a point after away from a win.
Good coverage. It was not bad coverage at all. Carter's in the slot. Looks like he's going to go for the pick, and instead, he just runs it up. And the coverage is right there, but Carter goes and grabs the ball out of the air. And we're 1 point away from this being over.
Sam and Penn State wins it in overtime.
So here we go. I formation with Gordon dotting the I. A loss of 1.5 yards on first down. Casanova McKenzie comes through to make the tackle.
Look at this. This is all stacked up front here.
Some misdirection. And Melvin Gordon. Not a ton on second down. Chris Frost was there to trip him up after a gain of about 3. So now it's 3rd down and 8. Blitz coming. Stavi up the seam. It's a first down catch inside the 10, down to about the 9-yard line. Troy Fumagalli was able to wall off a defender and make the reception.
You said it right.
Stavi to throw. Extends the play. Still keeping it alive. Into the end zone. Incomplete. Off the left hand of Fumagalli. So the War Eagle defense gets a stop, and Wisconsin will have to try a field goal attempt here in overtime.
All that matters defensively for Auburn is that you stop them right here. Ooh. Well, I don't know why Corey Clement didn't try to catch that ball.
He was right at the pylon and could have just stepped inside the pylon for a score. 25 yards away for points in overtime. Gaglianone forced overtime a moment ago. And he's good again. So now the Tigers can win it with a touchdown. Artis Payne, tackle for loss. Joe Sherbert got him around the ankles for a loss of 2. It might be a double pass.
He can throw it.
It's a throwback to Nick Marshall. And Wisconsin not fooled. So Gus Malzahn dialed up the trick play. Joe Sherbert, part of the group that stayed home. And now Auburn will try a field goal.
That is a great, watch Sherbert on the top side. He sees it right away. He's going to throw this ball backwards. Now watch Sherbert. He feels it. He just knows he's got to get out there. Doesn't know where. But what a great heads-up play to set up this field goal try.
45 yards away to extend overtime. Will it bend inside the upright? It does not! It hits the upright! And Wisconsin wins the Outback Bowl in overtime.
The Ooga Booga gets you every time.
I know most of you have been with us throughout the season, but if you happen to be real familiar with the college overtime rules, a little different from the NFL. Both teams get the ball, start from the 25. Indiana won the toss and deferred. So basically it's like the top of an inning, and Duke gets it first, and Jalay Duncan will keep it on the ground. Start from the 25, will get in through the first 2 overtimes. You can kick the extra point if you score. Once we reach the 3rd overtime, everyone is required to go for a 2-point conversion. So Indiana will have the ball next. Blue Devils get the first crack at it. 2nd down and 8. Thomas Sirk running it, and Sirk going to be a couple of yards or so short of the first down, and Sirk is slow to get up, and he's been slow to get up a few times. Some weight on his leg, went to the bench. We're in overtime, and Parker Bain, his first snap of the game, and his pass is batted high into the air and not intercepted. Nick Mangieri got a paw on it, so it'll be 4th down and 3, and Duke will come out with the field goal unit and Ross Martin to take the lead. You have a look at Sirk talking to the trainers on the sideline. Duke has some experience in overtime games this year. Won a 4 overtime affair against Virginia Tech earlier this year. Martin, the senior kicker, a perfect 2 for 2. From 36, Ross Martin. Right through the heart of the plate. That's about where home plate is at Yankee Stadium, and Duke takes a 44-41 lead, and now Kevin Wilson's Hoosiers with a chance to win it with a touchdown. Indiana's first play of overtime. Sudfeld throw it out to Page. Page had company immediately, but was able to wiggle his way and pick up a couple. Second down and 8 after the pickup of 2.
The other team kicked the field goal, right? Yeah. Right on 30. Wherever it is, 40.
So it fell. Page on the end around. Page looking for room. Duke has it defensed very well. Ben Humphreys there wearing number 59 today in honor of Kelby Brown, who would have been a 6-year player, injured in the preseason, wanted to wear the number of his fellow linebackers, the Indiana quarterback. Sudfeld getting heat, and he just gets rid of it at the end. So is there a receiver in the area? It's an incomplete pass.
How's not grounded?
Well, that's why I said, was there a receiver in the area? I didn't see one.
Legal number 24 was in the area.
Yeah, the official saying is Sudfeld threw it with his left hand just to get rid of it. They said number 24 was in the area. That's Mike Majette. I sure did. I didn't see Mike in that. That was a shot
in the stadium.
Okay, so wow. Griffin Oaks now with a field goal attempt to try to extend this game, push it to a second overtime. He makes it, we go to double overtime. Miss, the Blue Devils win it from 38. On the way. And it is no good. And the drought is over for Duke. Duke wins a ball game for the first time since 1961 if it stands up. Now, instant replay can look at a field goal as long as it's not above the upright. Oaks is contending that he made the field goal. Oaks is incredulous. He thinks it's good. There's a massive celebration going on with Duke. Let's have a look at it, guys, and see what you think.
It went over. It went too high, right? Yeah, it went too high.
As I told you, it is reviewable if the ball goes. You can rule whether it was inside or outside the upright as long as it wasn't above the upright. That kick was above the upright, not reviewable. The officials have left the field, and Indiana comes up 3 points short, and Duke wins it 44-41. It was
You think with the number of plays these guys have played at an up-tempo offense for both, cramps could be a factor.
2nd and 7. Little pump fake, and Kohlhaus is running. First down, goes into a slide. 2nd and 6. TCU with the ball first. Kohlhausen. End zone. What a catch! Touchdown! Emmanuel Porter, and that was a heck of a catch.
That guy will be a star. He's 6'4", he can fly. Ran 4.3 in our camp. He's really a good football player. What a catch. Ball was thrown a little bit behind him. Absolutely no pressure. So a makeshift offensive line.
Now this is huge in overtime. Extra point up and good. So they take care of the routine and punch it through for the 7-point lead. What a debut. The good and the bad. Another play fake. Lockheed dancing around. It's batted down. Lockheed. And he's got Freeman for the first down. Freeman still going inside the 5. What a gutsy play. The biggest play since halftime for Oregon.
Use a lot of motion or shifting just up the center, but here we come in motion. He's got to get the snap.
Good snap, Freeman. Trying to push his way in. Touchdown!
What a player that guy is. TCU's defense played great, and he just kept moving his feet to finish the run.
Looks like Oregon's going to kick the point after. That was all Royce Freeman there.
Hit in the backfield, hit at the 2, stood up, keeps powering.
soaring in for the touchdown.
That was Freeman against the defense, and he won. Over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns, just a sophomore.
A lot of pride on that Oregon sideline, too. They're not going to lay down and quit. Played for the national championship last year.
Now, same spot here. The game is on the line. You got to make the extra point or you lose.
Your snapper and your holder become critical here. The names are only mentioned if they mess it up.
Schneider's never missed one of these. Kick is good. He still hasn't. Brings Benoit in the backfield. But they hand it off to Nelson. Nelson goes down. I don't think he even got back to the line of scrimmage. He lost a few inches. I see him on the sideline now. Not in the game. Lockie on 3rd down. A screen type play. Addison, and TCU read it perfectly. Denzel Johnson. Now the Ducks, they got no choice. They got to try a field goal, which will not be automatic. 2nd overtime. Good snap. Kick kind of wobbles, but it's perfect. That didn't look real pretty, but the Ducks will take it. So they score first, and now their defense, if somehow you get a stop, you get a turnover, a missed field goal, Oregon can win the game. 5. They get it snapped, and the running back was not in the right spot. So toward the end zone, jump ball, incomplete, knocked away. Now that play was not working from the start, and now another cramp for Porter, who made that spectacular touchdown in the first overtime. We saw him hobble to the sideline then. Looks like they might bring some pressure.
They're coming after him.
They do, and they get there. Kohlhausen dumps it off. It is a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. That is a loss by Charles Nelson.
Guess who? Charles Nelson again. He just keeps showing up all over the place.
Great range. He's been one of the best kickers in Big 12 history. This is no gimme, though.
Got big, tall guys up inside for Oregon.
From about 46, the kick is good. And we go on.
What a game.
Point. TCU has it first. Green carry, big hole. Green will get brought down. Nelson, another big tackle for the Ducks. It is a first down TCU, but that saved a touchdown. Kohlhausen. Almost like an option style play. He'll turn the corner. Touchdown. You have to, Gary. Got to go for 2.
They're going to call a timeout and talk about it, but you.
Here's the 2-point try. Sprinting right. Now backing up. Pressured. Kohlhausen across his body. Bounced it. No good. So that's huge for Oregon. The Ducks hold on the 2-point try. He knows he had a man there, but under pressure, couldn't deliver the ball. Lockie hands it off on a misdirection type play. Freeman tackled short of the first down. He got close to 8 yards, though. Low snap. It's on the turf. And Oregon's lucky they get at least one more play. Ty Summers came crashing in. Another must get. They need 8 to keep the game going. At low snap, Lockie pressured, stepping up. Lockie throws, incomplete.
Offense comes onto the field at the 25. They start on the left hash. Ahmad Bradshaw, the quarterback, has only thrown the ball twice today, 1 of 2 for 38 yards. He's rushed 15 times for 122. They come this way with a halfback option pass, downfield and short. Tried to get Kel Walker to throw it, a little trickeration, but he was slipping and falling and getting hit as he threw it, and that fell to the ground. Looking for a seam, nicely pursued down the line. That's TJ Tawaralo, the redshirt sophomore from Keller, Texas, who makes the hit. Analytics is what they get on this 3rd down. Bradshaw to throw. Got a receiver. It's Poe. Inside the 10, knocked out of bounds at the 8. Edgar Poe, the senior from Tucson, with his first catch of the day. So here, a big first down conversion in overtime for Poe. And now they hand it off to Woolfolk, who gets nothing up the center of that North Texas defense. Shoot, that's still Woolfolk in there. Bradshaw tried to get the seam, finds a hole inside the 5, the 3, and it'll be third down and goal from the 3-yard line. Bradshaw tries to follow, doesn't get much. Well played from the far side. That was Joshua Wheeler, 18 for North Texas, that came in and pursued. The quick pitch. And into the end zone is Jordan Asbury for the Army touchdown.
Now that was clutch. You're going against the clock, you're going against the defense, you're on fourth down, and you make the play. Congratulations to Army in terms of that, the execution of it, the call itself. But take a look here. There's a counter fake to the dive guy, and there's just a toss outside. Great blocking. North Texas wasn't able to rally to get people around the football.
Tyler Campbell with a good seal block on the end. So here is Blake Wilson for a point after try. That's good. So now the pressure swings over to the Mean Green side of the ball. Can their offense get it into the end zone? The magic plays happen when they've needed them. Alec Morris will keep it, pull it down, and get about 4 before he is brought down by Andrew King, 11 for Army. Here is Wilson. Pursued and dropped for a loss by Jeremy Timpf, 39, one of the Army co-captains. Army bringing pressure, the ball dumped off underneath. It's incomplete in the direction of Thompson, and it's fourth down. Seth Luttrell had walked before that play all the way down to the line of scrimmage to watch that play as he paces back toward midfield.
Showing pressure, dropping out.
Morris under heat, fires it up into the air. Knocked down. Army wins.
South Florida offense has sputtered down the stretch here due in large part to that man's defense. But Quentin Flowers and the Bulls offense get a chance here to set the tone. Off the play fake. Flowers thought about running. Now he's forced out of the pocket. Thrown into the end zone. Touchdown! Elkaina Dillon. And the play was kept alive by Flowers.
Quentin Flowers' ability to extend plays and keep plays alive is truly amazing. It looks like he's going to tuck this and run a couple of times, but he has the ability to keep his eyes down the field and still make an accurate throw and beat 2 South Carolina defenders in the back of the end zone.
And John, so similar to his touchdown pass against Johnson, you know the back end guys who can't let anyone behind them came up because of the threat of the run.
That's right. Got him out of position, Eamon, and that's all you need is a crease as a quarterback just to give you a little window to throw the football to.
So now Bear on for the extra point. And it's good. Turner in the backfield. Off the play fake. Looking for 6. Knocked away. No flags. Looking for Edwards. Hoggins with the coverage. Bringing pressure up the middle with Sanchez. And they get to him. That's going to be a face mask. So Livingstone tackled him high, and he must have grabbed the face mask.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 94. Half the distance to the goal in an automatic first down.
So it goes from a huge loss to a first down.
This is going to be a sack by Livingstone. He's coming in clean, and he gets a full hand on the face mask, and that's going to move South Carolina inside the 15-yard line with a 1st and 10.
So they'll take it. They mark it at the 12.
I would be looking for the fly sweep from Samuel, trying to get him the football any way possible.
He's at the top of your screen now, and here he comes in motion. They run it to Turner, and Sanchez with the tackle at the 10. Turner again, inside the 10. Down to about the 7. Pressure coming up the middle, picked up, knocked away again. Looking for Hurst. Abraham with the coverage. So now it comes down to this. 4th and 6 for the Gamecocks.
Well, that was good quickness by Abraham and Fullwood, making a sandwich of Hurst around the goal line. And you're right, it comes down to your freshman quarterback making a play on 4th and medium. 4th and 6 in overtime. Can they answer the Bulls score?
They got to get to the 2. Play fake. Here comes pressure. He's hit. The ball is loose. South Florida's going to win. It's all over. Mike Love with the hit. And the Bulls have won the Birmingham Bowl in overtime.
First down for the Aggies from Logan. Love starts overtime with a deep ball. End zone tip. Great play. Owens. And incomplete of the ball intended for Brilliant Roberts. Carries here. Lawan Hunt hit hard. Cedric Wilcox the second involved in the heavy contact along with DeMarcus Owens.
Will they come?
3rd down. Here comes the pressure. Love delivers. Roberts has the catch. Shamon Lomax the tackle on Braylon Roberts. It is a 1st down.
Love stands in versus the Heat.
Here's Hunt. Stopped by Malik Denby, defensive end of Mexico State. Here's Love. Pump fake. Love spins and gets hit. Terrell Hanks put him down.
Up at the top.
3rd and goal. Love with pressure. End zone. Incomplete. Looking there for Aaron Vaughns.
Tough angle for Everly.
No good. He's missed for a 4th time tonight. I can't believe it. The all-Mountain West kicker, Dominic Everly, has missed 4 field goals, and now a field goal can win it for New Mexico State.
Well, again, you're trying to overcompensate because you had that natural drift and you're on the left hash. And so you want to prevent that this time. You don't want to hook it. And then he tries to guide it a little too much. I don't think he really got all the way through his short leg. You didn't really see much of a plant leg or with his plant foot. And so now you give Rodgers an opportunity.
Tough game for the young man from Germany. Rodgers on 1st down. Woodward, tackle for Utah State. Rose a 3rd. Has room. There Rose a 3rd. End zone touchdown New Mexico State. And the Aggies win the Arizona Bowl in overtime. After a 57-year wait, the Aggies bowling again and winning again over Utah State. Incredible.
Oklahoma will play defense first. Georgia's ball this way.
That coin flipped by Jeff Heiser landed and flipped over one time. And Oklahoma wins the toss. The Dogs offense and young Jake Fromm go to work first. From the pocket, delivered. Incomplete. It was off the hands of Isaac Nauta, the tight end who has not been targeted all afternoon. And here comes a field goal attempt.
Boy, into the teeth of the defense, not to the outside, but into the middle of this defense. Ball's thrown just behind Nauta, and it goes off of his hands.
They split those linebackers perfectly, just unable to hold on to the ball.
Blankenship, who booted a 55-yarder just before halftime, missed from 48. This from 38 in the lead. Knocks it right through. But Mayfield can win the game and send the Sooners to Atlanta and the championship game now with a touchdown. Handoff. Smallwood. End around, doesn't get there. Roquan Smith rose up, and the Butkus Award winner made a huge play.
We haven't seen Smallwood all night. A more physical receiver, not the fastest receiver. Roquan Smith with perfect technique. How fitting the year that he's had for the game to be down at 3rd and short. For him to make that play and not budge even an inch, he pushes Smallwood back.
Knocks it coolly through into the net. So a field goal for each offense in the first overtime. We had to double OT. Dogs jump off. It's a free play for Mayfield, who flings it to the end zone. Intercepted. The pass is picked off by DeAndre Baker, but the Dogs jumped offside. And Mayfield, I think, knew he had a free play.
He sure did, Chris.
Offsides. Defense, number 13. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Not just a penalty that wipes off an interception, but it gives Oklahoma a first down.
Yep.
They flip it short. Anderson hit behind the line as Roquan Smith makes another huge play.
Well, he had him the entire way out of the backfield. Had him man-to-man, wasn't surprised at all.
Mayfield has time, flips it short. Brown, a long way to go. Slips one tackle, spins, but is stopped at the 10, 11-yard line, and it's 4th down.
Much better job in man-to-man by Baker.
Deflected, blocked. The Dogs do it again.
I think Lorenzo Carter got in there. He's got such great length. It's 6'6". I think he was able to get the penetration, get up in the air, and get his right hand on the ball. How about that, a senior for the Dogs. See if it's number 7 from the right side of the offense. Watch him get up in the air right there. Full extension. Yes, he gets his hand on that to prevent it from going through.
They left him a gap. Carter took advantage. We mentioned how good Georgia's been at this situation. 3rd time this year they block a field goal in close, and now a field goal wins it for Georgia. Any points win it, and the Dogs would head back to Atlanta for a shot at the championship. From the 25. Make a big play, you're awarded those spiked shoulder pads, and now it's Swift and invading the backfield for the Sooners there. That's a nice play. Emmanuel Beal, the linebacker, dropped him for a loss.
And you're expecting a run here and a conservative approach. They just want to be able to stay in field goal range, probably get the ball.
Chubb scored a touchdown earlier on a direct snap. Now it's Michel's turn, running all the way. Gets to the edge. Sonny Michel will send the Dogs home to the championship game. Eerie quiet, the kind of weird tension that accompanies an overtime in a big college game.
Remember, on the perimeter and throwing the ball, getting it outside was where Fromm and Georgia's had their most success. He's making a check. Jeremy Pruitt yelling out to that Bama defense. They're also making checks.
Chubb met. Battles for just a few yards. You got to believe in your offensive line to test the front of the tide on that play.
Absolutely.
He's got it. Cannot get the corner. Levi Wallace stopped him. It's going to be 3rd down. Now it's Michel in the game. 3rd and 6. Pressure, flushed, sacked, way back at the 35-yard line. It will be a very long field goal attempt coming up.
A great move here by Lewis, moving around. Payne goes here, and he comes free. You can see that the center, Gilliard, 53, just not agile enough to move with Lewis, and he comes in clean and comes up with a big sack.
Papanastos from 51 kicked a 55-yarder in the Rose Bowl. And there's Blankenship trying to give Georgia the lead. Hot Rod just slides it through. Gesturing to his offense. Tagovailoa dancing around, circling back, dropped! A disastrous first down play. Devin Bellamy got it back at the 42.
Chris, that's a combination of great coverage downfield by Georgia and just being a young quarterback not put in this situation. Bellamy almost gets him there. See, that's where you'd like to see him throw it away. Nobody's open. You got to give up on the play, throw it away, get outside of the pocket and play on 2nd and 10. That's his youth right there.
Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins! The Crimson Tide will not be denied. True freshman to true freshman. Tagovailoa to Devontae Smith. Alabama breaks Georgia hearts.
3rd down. Forrest cuts it loose. Intercepted. Jawan Johnson for TCU. All the way to the 11-yard line. Pick number 9. There's a sideline warning as well off this return, sideline interference.
Yeah, up at the top, the official actually runs into someone in the TCU bench area.
So they're going to lose 15 yards off of that. TCU from the 40. Mulestein, quick throw. He's got the freshman Meeking. With TCU on offense. Olanalua tunneling about a yard short. It'll be 3rd and 1 for TCU. And again, their longest field goal this year was 46 from Jonathan Saul. Low snap. Olanalua nearly got by the 3rd level. Hawkins may have saved a touchdown. First down TCU. DeMercado. 2nd down. When do you kick? Do you kick?
That's a great question. Gary Patterson, I guarantee you, does not want to kick, but when you kick is certainly the question, and I'm not sure I know the answer to that because Gary Patterson doesn't have a ton of confidence in any kicker that even has purple on over on the sideline.
He foreshadowed something like this during the week when he talked to us and said, I'll take a win no matter how I get it. Put it in a brown paper bag and just hand it to me. I'll do it. This has been one of the wildest games you're going to see. They're driving for the win. Olanalua back in. He slams on the brakes, and Hawkins drives him back, but he does extend to the 15. Over by Gary Patterson. His 3rd down goes to Olanalua. And he looks like he's going to be just short of the line to gain, depending on the spot. The far side official had him short. The near side official looks like he's got him there. And it will be a first down for TCU. DiMercado back in. Right into the pile. Second down. Another handoff. And another short run for DiMercado. It's a loss of 1. Third down and long for TCU. DiMercado driving for extra yards. It's going to be a 27-yard effort for the win for TCU. And Jonathan Song for the win for TCU. Song. And it's harmony for TCU in the Cheez-It Bowl. 10-7 in overtime.
Justice Hansen engineered a long drive for that tying field goal to get to overtime. Warren Wand, who's had a really nice day, bounces outside, making people miss as he goes. And he's got 7 nice yards there.
Been getting those extra yards.
Second down and 3. Wand again has a seam and the first down. And he's down to the 11-yard line. Arkansas State. Merritt's in motion. Wand with the ball. Hit at the 10. Forward to the 8. Arkansas State can get a first down right at the 1. A pass, Hansen, and it's broken up again. How good have these Nevada corners been? Jamon Dotson in particular.
Either. If anything, I'd take a one-on-one shot down here for maybe a touchdown.
Quarterback draw. Hansen is stuffed, and I mean stuffed, at the 7. And you would expect that. Here he comes again, Blake Grupe, who hit the 32-yarder to send it to overtime. He gets the first crack in overtime.
And this is very similar to the field goal he missed earlier in the game, going from the left hash, about the same distance, honestly, the one that he pushed just right. So hopefully he just corrected it and we'll put it in right here.
Freshman kicker, 1 of 3 on the day. Snap is clean. Kick is right down the middle. So the first possession of overtime, Arkansas State has 3, and now Nevada gets their crack. Nevada had the ball, their only touchdown of the game. Tawa to the 18-yard line. Darian Jackson made the hit. They'll actually mark it closer to the 19. Brings up second down. This is Ganji, and Ganji has the first down to the 14-yard line. Jared Chandler made the stop, 1st and 10 for Nevada. Touchdown wins it. Tawa has a seam, and boy, it disappeared in a hurry. Forrest Merrill caught him and spun him around. He had a lane right to the end zone. A field goal extends it. Ganji, Tawa again, and that's not much there. 2 more yards to the 11. Third down. 3rd down 7. Ganji with time. Short throw. It's caught. And he leaps and he's in. Touchdown. Reagan Roberson. Nevada wins it.
Six in the box for Coastal on 3rd and 5. The swing pass is there, and Mack's going to be tripped up. Did not reach the line to gain. 4th down upcoming for Liberty. 2 for 2 tonight is Barbier on the way. Can he sneak it in? And he does. Reese got a fingertip on it as well. Almost looked like the same play call. Hiley hit the turf hard. No penalty marker on 3rd down this season. Really not tonight. Heavy pressure. The pass floats, and it's incomplete. Massimo Biscardi. Kick was blocked, and Liberty's going to win it. The Flames find a way in overtime, and Hugh Freeze celebrates. What a finish in Orlando.